Well, Rukma, although it's a Tuesday, but it looks like a holiday because the violence occurred on Monday night in Vrishra near rail gate number 4 has created so much fear in the mind of local people, common people, that it looks like a holiday on a Tuesday. And all we can see that scattered glasses and also stones that were pelted towards the police, and also the clashes which was erupted and took a huge turn on Monday night, and on Tuesday morning there was huge evidence. There were so many evidences that what kind of situation was there on Monday night. Several trains were disrupted, train services were disrupted from Howrah main line. The local train services were stopped for a few hours and the passenger trains and the express trains were also halted in different stations on the route from Howrah. And now the big question is there was CRPC 144 was imposed to control the situation, to control the violence. But on Monday night, for at least 2 to 3 hours, there was heavy stone pelting, there was glass bottles were thrown up to each other, and also allegedly there was crude bombs were hurled targeting the shops, the roadside shops near Vrishra railway station. And also after that, police charged tear gases and they route marched the whole area. They tried to dominate the area, and now several people have been detained by the police. And but on Tuesday morning, there is a huge tension lying underneath the normal life of the people from Vrishra, from Konnagar, Srirampur, and other surrounding areas. And also the political face-off is on. Shubhendu Adhikari, leader of opposition, along with Amit Malviya, BJP spokesperson, clearly questioning the role of state government. Shubhendu Adhikari tweeted a little hours back.
Clearly, yes, Bhaskar, we'll be going on to that massive political face-off, that massive, the blame game, the barbed allegations against each other, that the TMC, that we're seeing between the TMC and the BJP. But stay with us. We'll be coming back to that. Right now, we'd like to show our viewers this report that you filed a short while back.
Violence occurred again in Vrishra on Monday night, and after that, allegedly, a huge number of glass bottles and stones were pelted towards police, and allegedly one police van was torched down by the mob, by the agitators, and all we can see now that the stones and broken glass bottles and the scenes in which we can clearly say that a huge violence was occurred here in Vrishra near gate number 4, a rail crossing. Due to that, a huge number of passengers were waiting in different stations. The train services were disrupted, and now the police personnel are doing area domination in different parts of Vrishra. And when will normalcy will be back in Vrishra? This is now the biggest question. With video journalist Sanjay Nair, this is Bhaskar for Republic.
Moving on to more breaking news coming in from Maharashtra. It's regarding the fake degree row that the Aam Aadmi Party had raked up a short while back. It's stating that the NCP now has come out in support of Prime Minister Modi. And it has stated that it was pointless to rake up the issue of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's academic qualifications. This was said by Maharashtra leader of the opposition and senior NCP leader Ajit Pawar. He said that the people of India did not vote for Prime Minister Modi on the basis of his degrees, but it was his charisma that the people had voted for. Pawar further added it was ridiculous to question the validity of the academic degree of someone who has been helming the country for nearly 9 years now.
दोन 2014 त्यांची डिग्री बघून लोकांनी निवडून दिले का? त्यांनी देशामध्ये 2014ला स्वतःचा करिश्मा निर्माण केला, जो भारतीय जनता पक्षाचा काश्मीरपासून कन्याकुमारीपर्यंत नव्हता. त्याचं सर्वस्व श्रेय हे नरेंद्र मोदी साहेबांनाच दिलं पाहिजे. आणि डिग्रीवर काय, आतापर्यंत जे कोणी देशाचे सुरुवातीपासून आतापर्यंत पंतप्रधान झाले, अनेक राज्यांचे मुख्यमंत्री त्या काळापासून आतापर्यंत झाले, त्यांना आपल्या लोकशाहीमध्ये बहुमताचा आदर.
So the NCP backing the Prime Minister in this regard. Joining me is Ram Kadam of the BJP. Sir, many thanks for speaking with Republic. Your perspective on the NCP now backing the Prime Minister and on NCP's response to the fake degree row. How do you see what the NCP is saying?
See, there are 2 points. Point number one, what Mr. Ajit Pawar said is absolutely fact, that Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji has a charismatic face, he has a different aura, and people of this country accepted him as a successful Prime Minister of this country. And the second point, opposition parties don't have any valid points or valid allegations. They do not have anything against Honorable Prime Minister, against Modi government. So that's the reason why they have been indulging into this kind of baseless allegations. Because if you're seen in the parliament, they do not have anything against the government. So that is the reason why they have been pointing out baseless things.
Right, right. And the allegation as far as, the NCP has made it clear that these are baseless and unnecessary issues that are being raked up. What is your view on that?
It's a big slam on, I think, Congress party and their leaders. Because NCP and Congress, both the parties were together and they were running government in Maharashtra. When the tall leader like Mr. Ajit Pawar has been saying this, so it's a big slam to Congress party. And now Congress party and the leaders have to introspect whether they should indulge into such kind of a baseless allegations, or they have to come forward and apologize to the nation.
And so the fake degree row. Many thanks, Mr. Kadam, for joining us there. Mr. Kadam expressing his thoughts on the entire fake degree row of that, the allegations of a fake degree row that was stoked initially by the Aam Aadmi Party and then taken up by the Congress Party as well. Now, the Nationalist Congress Party's Ajit Pawar clearly stating his party's point of view that it's a futile argument. These are futile allegations because the Prime Minister was not voted to power on the basis of his degrees, but because of his charisma. It was the Prime Minister's charisma that won the people of India over, causing him to be at the, and degrees do not, the question of degrees do not matter when it comes to somebody who has been helming the country for nearly 9 years now. So the NCP clearly backing Prime Minister Modi. And joining me now is Atul Bhatkhalkar of the BJP, joining me on the phone line. Mr. Bhatkhalkar, we'd like your perspective on the NCP. The NCP, a close ally of the Congress, the close ally of the Shiv Sena in Maharashtra, of the Uddhav faction of the in Maharashtra, now saying that the argument, the row that was stoked by the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party, questioning the degrees of and the qualifications of the Prime Minister, it is a futile argument because the Prime Minister was voted on the basis of his charisma and not because of his degrees. Your response?
See, Mr. Ajit Pawar is known for not mincing his words. And many times he takes contradictory stand to his own party. I can quote you regarding EVM machines, where everybody, including NCP people, Congress, said this is EVM victory, not BJP's victory. That time also, Ajit Pawar categorically stated that he has no problem with EVM. And so, sometimes Ajit Pawar speaks truth, and whatever he said regarding Honorable Prime Minister's degree is absolutely correct. See, Prime Minister's degree is available in affidavit of his election nomination. That is available to anybody. But to just make political gain and to show our very bad mentality, AAP and section of the NCP and Congress people are doing this non-issue. And that's why I think whatever Ajit Pawar has stated is absolutely right, because in this country there were many politicians who were not studied up to the 12th graduation, but they run their state or their Jilla Parishad very prominently and very efficiently. So, formal education is important, but that is only one aspect of anybody's political or social life. But Congress, NCP had a mentality of this to degrade anybody, and that's why they are making this non-issue as an issue.
Right. Many thanks, Mr. Bhatkalkar, for joining us there. And so reactions coming in to the NCP's remark, Ajit Pawar there saying that the fake degree issue raked up by the Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress over the Prime Minister, clearly a non-issue. Let's listen in to what exactly he said in that bite once again.
2014 त्यांची डिग्री बघून लोकांनी निवडून दिले का? त्यांनी देशामध्ये 2014 स्वतःचा करिश्मा निर्माण केला, जो भारतीय जनता पक्षाचा काश्मीरपासून कन्याकुमारीपर्यंत नव्हता. त्याचं सर्वस्व श्रेय हे नरेंद्र मोदी साहेबांनाच दिलं पाहिजे. आणि डिग्रीवर काय, आतापर्यंत जे कोणी देशाचे सुरुवातीपासून आतापर्यंत पंतप्रधान झाले, अनेक राज्यांचे मुख्यमंत्री त्या काळापासून आतापर्यंत झाले, त्यांना आपल्या लोकशाहीमध्ये बहुमताचा आदर करून त्याला महत्व आहे. तिथं 543 संख्या आहे, त्याच्यात बहुमत ज्याचा असेल तो तिथं प्रमुख होतो. राज्यामध्ये आपल्या 146 145 ज्याचं बहुमत असेल, पाठिंबा असेल, तो त्या ठिकाणी मुख्यमंत्री होतो. त्याच्यामुळं असं कुठं शिक्षणाच्या बाबतीमध्ये वैद्यकीय क्षेत्रात MBBS किंवा ज्या त्यांच्या पदव्या आहेत ते झाल्याशिवाय तो तिथं काम करू शकत नाही, असं काही राजकारणामध्ये नाहीये. आणि त्याच्यामुळे आज ते जवळपास 9 वर्ष तुमच्या माझ्या देशाचं प्रतिनिधित्व करतात. आणि आता डिग्रीच्या बद्दल काढून मी बऱ्याचदा बघतो, मधून अधून मंत्र्यांच्याही डिग्रीचं काढलं जातं, पंतप्रधानांच्याही डिग्रीचं काढलं जातं. तो महत्वाचा प्रश्न आहे नाही. महत्वाचा प्रश्न महागाई आणि बेरोजगारीचा.
Up in other news that we're tracking, poster war continues to rage on in the national capital. Anti-Aam Aadmi posters now outside the BJP office. Also, in international news, hush money scandal haunts Trump. Former US president now in New York, set to appear in court for his arraignment.
रामनवमी जुलूस में उपद्रव के बाद नालंदा जिले में अभी भी स्थिति तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। हमारे साथ ये देखिए ये महिला बटालियन है जो कि मार्च कर रही है। बिल्कुल कर्फ्यू सा नजारा है। देख सकते हैं कि आसपास के जो दुकान हैं सभी बंद हैं। स्थिति जो है तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। एक युवक के मौत के बाद 2 लोग जख्मी हुए हैं। 62 लोगों की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। धारा 144 पूरे नालंदा जिले में लगा हुआ है।
The BJP Shiv Sena Savarkar Gaurav Yatra has already been commenced, and we can see the Chief Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde who has been present in the same yatra, and this is against the statement of Rahul Gandhi. We remember in the last press conference where Rahul Gandhi has stated that he is Gandhi and not Savarkar, and Gandhi never apologized. Right after which we saw there was a press conference that was called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis clearly condemning the statement of Rahul Gandhi, and there they have announced that there will be a Savarkar Gaurav Yatra across Maharashtra. So it has been started from today. It will go on till 8th of April.
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's me, Chidambaram right now. Authority. He's been arrested. Mr. Vazir, why because it was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us from...
NIA की टीम बाजे को लेकर यहाँ पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे इसी नतीजे
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. Are they trying to stop? Today the whole news is looking at you. What exactly are your thoughts? Why must
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Mania, something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking you.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's me, Chidambaram right now. Authority. He's been on the screen. Mr. Vazir, why to arrest him? Because it was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us from reporting.
यहाँ पर लिखा गया है स्टैंड। इसी जगह से सचिन वाजे को बोला गया था खड़े रहने के लिए।
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. Are they trying to stop the car? भारत की परिभाषा से मतलब सहमत है।
Everybody has right to self-determine. If I say Punjab is a separate country,
And we're getting breaking news now that a Varanasi-bound Indigo flight from Bengaluru. This was the Indigo flight from Varanasi to Bengaluru with 137 passengers on board had to make an emergency landing. This was due to a technical problem as per latest reports, and it had to land at the Shamshabad airport in Telangana at 6:15 this morning. All the passengers are safe. This is the Indigo flight that was en route to Bengaluru from Varanasi. And a technical snag caused it to make an emergency landing at the Shamshabad airport. For all the details, I go across to my colleague Aneri, who's now joining us. Aneri, what can you tell us? Are there any more details? We believe the flight had to make an emergency landing at around 6:15 this morning. What more can you tell our viewers?
Well, that's right, Rukma. We have been seeing that this morning at around 6:15 a.m. The Indigo flight had to make an emergency landing after the pilot found that there was some technical issue in the flight, and that is the reason why they had to make an emergency landing. Well, this was a Bangalore Varanasi flight which was en route, and that is the time when after they found that there was some technical issue, that is the reason why it had to make an emergency landing, and after which we see that after the emergency landing, the technical staff had resolved the issue, and at around 8 a.m. the flight again took off and made a safe landing. However, there were near about 137 passengers in the flight, and everyone is said to be safe. There was no untoward situation which has taken place, and now we also see that DGCI has also issued a statement in regard with this, and also they have stated that there was some technical issue, and that is why it had to make an emergency landing at the Shamshabad airport, that's the Hyderabad airport. And now we are learning that the flight has now once again taken off from the Hyderabad airport and has made a safe landing. Now we also have been seeing more details of what exactly went wrong, what was the technical issue. We'll have to wait for more details in that connection. But yes, an Indigo flight bound to from Bangalore to Varanasi had made an emergency landing.
Many thanks, Neri, for joining us with those updates. And we move on now to other news that's coming up. Big political face-off over Prime Minister's degree remark. The NCP now comes out in support. Also coming up, yet another case of cancel culture and Hindu phobia in the UK. Student claims discrimination.
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
And that is Christian Michelle. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's me, Chidambaram right now. Oh, there it is. He's been arrested. Mr. Vazir, why because it was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us.
एनआईए की टीम बाजे को लेकर यहाँ पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे इसी
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. Are they trying to stop? Today the whole nation is looking at you. What exactly are your thoughts? Why must
रामनवमी जुलूस में उपद्रव के बाद नालंदा जिले में अभी भी स्थिति तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। हमारे साथ ये देखिए ये महिला बटालियन है जो कि मार्च कर रही है। बिल्कुल कर्फ्यू सा नजारा है। देख सकते हैं कि आसपास के जो दुकान हैं सभी बंद हैं। स्थिति जो है तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। एक युवक के मौत के बाद 2 लोग जख्मी हुए हैं। 62 लोग की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। धारा 144 पूरे नालंदा जिले में लगा हुआ है।
The BJP Shiv Sena Savarkar Gaurav Yatra has already been commenced, and we can see the Chief Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde who has been present in the same yatra, and this is against the statement of Rahul Gandhi. We remember in the last press conference where Rahul Gandhi has stated that he is Gandhi and not Savarkar, and Gandhi never apologized. Right after which we saw there was a press conference that was called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis clearly condemning the statement of Rahul Gandhi, and there they have announced that there will be a Savarkar Gaurav Yatra across.
And in international news, former US President Donald Trump arrived at Trump Tower in New York ahead of his historic booking and arraignment on hush money charges amidst heightened security. On Monday afternoon, the case pertains to Trump stems from payments made to adult movie actress Stormy Daniels during his 2016 campaign. The Pentagon responded to reports on whether or not China's spy balloon that was able to gather intelligence data on US military sites and transmit the data to the Chinese government before the Biden administration shot it down days later off the coast of South Carolina, saying that the US is on high alert.
That we were able to take, we were able to prevent transmission of certain aspects of our sites to be transmitted just because of what the precautionary steps that we were able to take. But in terms of transmission back to the PRC and what was able to be transmitted back, I just don't have further information for you at this time. As of right now, we're still doing an assessment of what exactly the intel was that China was able to gather, but we do know that the steps that we took provided little additive value for what they've been able to collect on from satellites before.
The security minister of the province of Buenos Aires was attacked by dozens of bus drivers who were protesting the murder of a colleague during a robbery. Sergio Bernay was seen being punched by at least one driver, and stones were also thrown at him. In the aftermath of the Bakhmut shelling, evacuation from Bakhmut has now become almost impossible. The Ukrainian military has been trying to rescue residents in armored vehicles as attacks from Russia continue. And it's time now for a short break, but coming up in a short while, the Bhutan king, who is on a visit to India, met NSA, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, in the capital.
रामनवमी जुलूस में उपद्रव के बाद नालंदा जिले में अभी भी स्थिति तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। हमारे साथ ये देखिए ये महिला बटालियन है जो कि मार्च कर रही है। बिल्कुल कर्फ्यू सा नजारा है। देख सकते हैं कि आसपास के जो दुकान हैं सभी बंद हैं। स्थिति जो है तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। एक युवक के मौत के बाद 2 लोग जख्मी हुए हैं। 62 लोग की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। धारा 144 पूरे नालंदा जिले में लगा हुआ है।
The BJP Shiv Sena Savarkar Gaurav Yatra has already been commenced, and we can see the Chief Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde, who has been present in the same yatra, and this is against the statement of Rahul Gandhi. We remember in the last press conference where Rahul Gandhi has stated that he is Gandhi and not Savarkar, and Gandhi never apologized. Right after which we saw there was a press conference that was called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, clearly condemning the statement of Rahul Gandhi, and there they have announced that there will be a Savarkar Gaurav Yatra across Maharashtra. So it has been started from today. It will go on till 8th of April.
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's me, Chidambaram right now. Authority. He's been arrested. It was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us.
एनआईए की टीम बाजे को लेकर यहाँ पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे इसी नतीजे
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. Are they trying to stop? Today the whole vision is scheduled. What exactly are your thoughts? Why must
Good morning, this is live and breaking on Republic TV, and I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. We begin with a look at the top headlines we're tracking here on Republic this morning. Tensions continue to simmer in West Bengal after fresh late-night violence in Hooghly. Internet services are suspended. Security is beefed up in the aftermath of the Hooghly violence. The BJP's political face-off over the Prime Minister's degree remark continues. The NCP now comes out in support. Poster wars continue to rage on in the national capital. Anti-Aam Aadmi Party posters are seen outside the BJP's office. Yet another case of cancel culture and Hindophobia in the UK. Student claims discrimination. Hush money scandal haunts Donald Trump, the former US president, now in New York, set to surrender. Well, we are cutting across to pictures that we are getting of the Bhutanese king Jingme Wangchuk meeting the NSA Ajit Doval. The Bhutanese king is on a 2-day visit to India, and it will give a boost to relationship between India and Bhutan, and also a chance to evaluate a whole range of bilateral cooperation. Let's go across to Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, who joins us now. Abhishek, one of the key things that everybody will be looking at with regards to this meeting, of course, is the settlement of the border issue. That's something that obviously Ajit Doval will be bringing up even as we speak with the Bhutanese king, because this has caused a lot of concern here in India.
Well, you see, there was this recent comment by the Prime Minister of Bhutan while giving an interview to a newspaper in Europe, Le Libre, in which he mentioned that there are three of us, India, China and Bhutan, when it comes to the tri-junction at the Doklam Plateau. Now, there was this interpretation in India. Initially, it caused some discomfiture that is this a new position that Bhutan is taking under pressure from China? But it so happens so it's not, because whatever China does in the Doklam Plateau has security implications for India. So obviously, India is a party there, and that's the reason why the Doklam standoff really happened. Separately, of course, Bhutan has been in talks with China, 22 round of talks. But this is obviously not about just the boundary question, because the King of Bhutan is having a visit by the National Security, a call on by the National Security Advisor. So obviously the security situation in the neighborhood is discussed. But otherwise, it's a very long-standing, durable, strong relationship that exists between the two nations. Prime Minister has visited Bhutan twice, and we have regular visits from the Bhutanese side. And this is, in fact, for the king also a second visit in the recent times. Our External Affairs Minister has visited twice. Foreign Secretary visited as late as January this year and met His Majesty the King of Bhutan. So I think otherwise also, in terms of cultural connect, in terms of trade, in terms of assistance, development assistance, in terms of India buying hydropower from Bhutan and Bhutan getting revenues for that. So everything seems to be in order, but this border question, Nupur, you are right, is going to be the focus, because when the National Security Advisor meets, essentially the focus is on the external security aspect and how the two nations collaborate. Remember, the Bhutanese security establishment has a lot of strong inbuilt cooperation from India, and of late we keep hearing about China sort of putting in pressure. Remember, just about last year, post-Doklam crisis, the Chinese claimed a part of Bhutan which was never claimed earlier in the last 20 years. So the salami slicing aspect of China continues even with tiny Bhutan, and that's something on which perhaps exchange of thoughts would happen between the king and the National Security Advisor when this meeting is happening.
All right, Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, joining us there. Thank you very much for that input. So there you can see it on your screens right now. This is the second day of the visit of the Bhutanese king to India. Yesterday, of course, he was welcomed by the External Affairs Minister, and today his first meeting in the day is with the NSA Ajit Doval. Now, tensions are continuing to simmer in West Bengal after fresh violence was reported in Hooghly's Rishra railway station. Police had put up barricades in a bid to control the stone pelting that caused multiple train delays, and several trains were suspended. Now, furthermore, in the aftermath, Section 144 has been imposed and internet services have been suspended in the area.
Fresh violence occurred again in Rishra on Monday night, and after that, allegedly, a huge number of glass bottles and stones were pelted towards police, and allegedly one police van was torched down by the mob, by the agitators, and all we can see now that the stones and broken glass bottles and the scenes in which we can clearly say that a huge violence was occurred here in Rishra near gate number 4, a rail crossing. Due to that, a huge number of passengers were waiting in different stations. The train services were disrupted, and now the police personnel are doing area domination in different parts of Odisha. And when will normalcy will be back in Odisha? This is now the biggest question. With video Sanjay Nair, this is Bhaskar for Republic.
Now, Bhaskar Basu, in fact, is joining us live on the broadcast. Bhaskar, we just saw that report of yours, which you filed, from one of the locations where violence was reported. Give us an overall sense of how the situation stands currently.
Well, Nupur, the situation is tense as of now, although some vehicles are moving in and around Odisha and the surrounding places where violence occurred again on yesterday night. But the overall situation is a bit tensed. And also the police personnel are doing area domination in a regular manner to ensure law and order situation. CRPC 144 was imposed to control the law and order situation, to control the violence. But the situation was worsened on Monday night when the police jeep was burnt down. Huge numbers of bombs were allegedly hurled upon Odisha station. And also heavy number of stones were pelted, glass bottles were thrown, and now the situation is internally suspended in that area in Odisha, in Hooghly. And also the political face-off is on as the BJP, the main opposition party in Bengal, they are clearly questioning the role of state administration. They are questioning the role of police personnel because the 144 was imposed and the police personnel were patrolling all over the area. But the situation turned violent where several vehicles were burned down. A number of people were heavily injured due to this scuffle, due to this violence. And also the Trinamool Congress leaders, they are questioning BJP's role, as the Trinamool Congress leaders are claiming that the BJP is behind all of this violence. But also BJP counter questioning the allegation made by Trinamool Congress, the ruling party in West Bengal. While Governor C.V. Anand Bose is coming back to Kolkata, hurriedly assessing the situation, but the Mamata Banerjee, Chief Minister of Bengal, she is in Digha, and Shubhendu Adhikar, leader of opposition, is questioning the state government's role about this violence. And as of now, Nupur, the situation is very tensed in and around that places where violence occurred on Monday night. Nupur.
All right, thank you very much, Bhaskar, for that update.
The occasion of the 5th edition of this International Conference on Disaster Resilient Infrastructure, ICDRI 2023, is indeed a special one. Friends, the CDRI arose from a global vision. In a closely connected world, the impact of disasters will not just be local. Disaster in one region can have a big impact on a completely different region. Therefore, our response has to be integrated, not isolated. Friends, in just a few years, over 40 countries have become part of the CDRI. This conference is becoming an important platform. Advanced economies and developing economies, large and small countries, the global north and the global south are coming together at this forum. It is also encouraging that it is not just governments that are involved. Global institutions, domain experts, and the private sector also play a role. Friends, as we discuss infrastructure, some priorities have to be remembered. The CDRI's theme for this year's conference is related to delivering resilient and inclusive infrastructure. Infrastructure is not only about returns, but also about reach and resilience. Infrastructure must leave none behind and serve the people even during time of crisis. Further, a holistic view of infrastructure is needed. Social and digital infrastructure are as important as transport infrastructure. Friends, during disasters, it is natural that our hearts go out to those who are suffering. Relief and rescue take priority, and rightly so. Resilience is about how quickly systems can ensure the return of normal life. Resilience is built in the times between one disaster and another. Studying past disasters and learning lessons from them is the way. This is where the CDRI and this conference play a key role. Friends, each nation and region faces disasters of different kinds. Societies evolve local knowledge related to infrastructure that can withstand disasters. While modernizing infrastructure, such knowledge needs to be used intelligently. Modern technology with local insights can be great for resilience. Further, if documented well, local knowledge may become a global best practice. Friend, some of the initiatives of the CDRI are already showing its inclusive intent. The Infrastructure for Resilient Island State Initiative for IRIS benefits many island nations. These islands may be small, but every human living in them matters to us. Just last year, the Infrastructure Resilient Accelerator Fund was announced. This $50 million fund has generated immense interest among developing nations. The commitment of financial resources is key to the success of initiatives. Friends, recent disasters have reminded us of the scale of challenges we face. Let me give you a few examples. We had heat waves across India and Europe. Many island nations were harmed by earthquakes, cyclones, and volcanoes. Earthquakes in Turkey and Syria caused great loss of lives and property. Your work is becoming more relevant. There are great expectations from the CDRI. Friends, this year, India is also bringing the world together through its G20 presidency. At the president of G20, we have already included the CDRI in many working groups. The solutions you explore here will receive attention at the highest levels of global policy making. This is an opportunity for CDRI to contribute to infrastructure resilience, especially against climate risk and disasters. I am confident that the deliberations at ICDRI 2023 will provide a pathway to achieve the shared vision of a more resilient world.
All right, so that, of course, is the Prime Minister speaking about various issues and about resilient infrastructure building across the country. The Prime Minister addressing an international conference on infrastructure. A look now at what else is making news this morning. Tensions continue to simmer in West Bengal after fresh violence was reported in Hooghly's Rishra railway station. The police had to put up barricades in a bid to control the stone pelting that caused multiple train delays, and several trains were suspended. Now, in the aftermath, Section 144 has been imposed and internet services have been suspended in the area. In the national capital, the Aam Aadmi Party versus the BJP poster wars are continuing to rage on. In the latest, the BJP put up posters outside the office in Delhi, stating that the degree row is being raked up only to divert people's attention from multiple graft cases against Aam Aadmi Party leaders. Even as the war over tickets continues, the Congress is set to hold a Central Election Committee meeting to discuss probable candidates for the second list on the 4th of April. The party is likely to release the names before Rahul Gandhi arrives in Kolar on the 9th of April. The Karnataka Congress president has been booked for throwing currency notes at people during an election rally in Mandya on the 29th of March. The Election Commission of India registered a complaint against D.K. Shivakumar based on which a non-cognizable offence was registered against him. The Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan said a special investigation team will be formed to probe the fire incident on board a train which led to the loss of 3 lives in Kozhikode district of the state. The accused man, who set fire to the people inside one of the compartments of the Alappuzha-Kannur Express on Sunday night, is yet to be identified and no arrests have been made so far. Top opposition leaders have strongly pitched for a caste census at the DMK convened conference on social justice, which also saw calls for forging unity to take on the BJP in the run-up to the 2024 general elections. The conference was seen by many as a show of strength by the opposition, with the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, the Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot and his Jharkhand counterpart Hemant Soren, and Bihar's Deputy Chief Minister Tejashwi Yadav in attendance. The Uttar Pradesh government schools will adopt from this academic session the NCERT's new Class 12 history textbooks, in which portions about Mughal courts have been removed. As part of its syllabus rationalization exercise last year, the NCERT cited overlapping and irrelevant as reasons and dropped certain portions of the syllabus, including some lessons on Mughal courts, from its 12th textbooks. 4 government staff were suspended in Vikarabad district of Telangana after a stand by invigilator at the government school allegedly took a picture of the question paper of the class 10 board examinations and shared with another teacher on an instant messaging app while the test was going on. Maiden landing of helicopters by night on board INS Vikrant was achieved on the 28th of March by Kamov 31 helicopter. The trial successfully proved night operations from INS Vikrant. As part of the trials, the lightning aids and shipborne systems were also tested. An Indian origin student from the Law School of London School of Economics has alleged that there is discrimination on the basis of religion and anti-India rhetoric prevalent on campus. Taking to social media, Karan Kataria, a lawyer pursuing a master's from the LSE campus and running for the General Secretary of LSE Student Union, claimed that he was disqualified from fighting for the General Secretary's post for being a Hindu nationalist. Well, the ED has summoned the former Maharashtra minister and NCP leader Hassan Musharraf's aide Chandrakant Madhukar Gaikwad to appear for questioning on Wednesday in the sugar mills corruption case. Yesterday, of course, raids were conducted across 9 locations in connection with this case. So the ED issuing summons to the former Maharashtra minister Hassan Musharraf's aide Chandrakant Madhukar Gaikwad. Now, the NCP leader's aide, of course, has been questioned in the sugar mills case, and this is a case in which investigations have been on for a while now. Yesterday, of course, we saw raids being conducted at 9 locations by the ED. We're going to try and go across to our correspondents to get us more details on this, but even as we speak, the ED has summoned an NCP leader's aide in the sugar mills case. Well, the ED's search operation is also concurrently underway in many places in Pune in connection with the sugar mills case. In fact, the Enforcement Directorate issued summons to Chandrakant Gaikwad, a close aide of the former Maharashtra minister Hassan Musharraf, to appear for questioning in connection with the sugar mill corruption case. Now, the summons came after the ED had conducted raids at Gaikwad's office earlier in the day. Now, search operations are underway also at many places in Pune in connection with this case. Now, the YSRTP chief, Y.S. Sharmila, in an exclusive interview with Republic TV, has hit out at the Telangana chief minister for his handling of the paper leak case. Now, the YSRTP chief has alleged that KCR had cheated and looted the youth of Telangana.
KCR has blatantly cheated and looted the future of the youth of Telangana. 191,000 jobs were vacant, and KCR was supposed to fill them up in this term, and KCR to date hasn't given even one job in all of the 5 years, the last four and a half years that he is chief minister. So yes, I have written letters to all the opposition party leaders requesting them to join this forum, because this forum, irrespective of the political parties, putting our political agendas aside, we will take up the agenda of fighting for the youth of Telangana. Because unless we do that, we will not even be able to achieve a CBI inquiry into the alleged question paper leak or get KCR to give the 1.91 lakh jobs that he was meant to give.
As you say that you have written letters to Bandi Sanjay and also Revant Reddy and other opposition leaders as well, you also happen to speak to them. Were they ready to come along with you for this fight? And because they also have been demanding the same thing from the government since last few months we have been seeing. So any sort of assurance coming in from their end that they will join you?
No, they haven't assured me that they will join me, but I want them to consider it. I want the parties to consider it, because unless we do this together, we will not be able to achieve anything. Because as you see, my Padayatra, 3,800 kilometers of my Padayatra, the permission was cancelled, all because YSR Telangana party was gaining mileage. So KCR works in very shrewd ways. He knows how to restrict or thwart the voice of the opposition. And if we keep fighting individually like this, you have also seen how many times I was house arrested. So we will not be able to achieve anything individually is what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying let's all come together, and when we come together, we will be able to do something for the youth of Telangana.
You are with Republic TV, and on the other side, it's yet another case of cancel culture and Hindu phobia in the UK. Student claims discrimination. And the hush money scandal hits Donald Trump. Former US president is now in New York for his arraignment.
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
and that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, what do you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's me, Chidambaram right now. He's been arrested. Because the case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us.
एनआईए की टीम बाजे को लेकर यहाँ पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे इसी नतीजे
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here at Hooghly. They're trying to stop. Today the most issue. What exactly are your thoughts? Why must
रामनवमी जुलूस में उपद्रव के बाद नालंदा जिले में अभी भी स्थिति तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। हमारे साथ ये देखिए ये महिला बटालियन है जो कि मार्च कर रही है। बिल्कुल कर्फ्यू सा नजारा है। देख सकते हैं कि आसपास के जो दुकान हैं सभी बंद हैं। स्थिति जो है तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। एक युवक के मौत के बाद 2 लोग जख्मी हुए हैं। 62 लोग की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। धारा 144 पूरे नालंदा जिले में लगा हुआ है।
The BJP Shiv Sena Savarkar Gaurav Yatra has already been commenced, and we can see the Chief Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde who has been present in the same yatra, and this is against the statement of Rahul Gandhi. We remember in the last press conference where Rahul Gandhi has stated that he is Gandhi and not Savarkar, and Gandhi never apologized. Right after which we saw there was a press conference that was called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, clearly condemning the statement of Rahul Gandhi, and there they have announced that there will be a Savarkar Gaurav Yatra across.
Tensions continue to simmer in West Bengal after fresh late-night violence in Hooghly. Internet services suspended, security beefed up in the aftermath of Hooghly violence. Big political face-off over Prime Minister's degree remark. NCP now comes out in support. Poster wars continue to rage on in the national capital. Anti-Aam Aadmi Party posters outside BJP office. Yet another case of cancel culture and Hindu phobia in the United Kingdom. Student claims discrimination. And hush money scandal haunts Trump. Former US president now in New York set to surrender. Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Rakshita Mishra, and we're starting with our top focus of the day. We're getting you some visuals from Bengal. BJP workers clashing with police over Shukanto Majumdar's protest against Hooghly violence. BJP's West Bengal chief Shukanto Majumdar was supposed to sit for a dharna protest against the Hooghly violence. However, the police say that the dharna will not be allowed to stage. According to police sources, the dharna has no permission. However, BJP organizers say that due permission was taken from the administration. Shukanto Majumdar over a phone line to Republic Bangla said that he will be anyway visiting Sri Rampur in Hooghly for the sit-in protest against the Rishra violence. On the other hand, it was seen that police is bringing down the stage built for the protest. All right, my colleague Kishle is joining us from our Bangla newsroom in Kolkata. Kishle, this is another development, and the clash, the face-off is not, of course, dying down any soon. The BJP workers, continue to clashes over Shukanto's protest is. All right, I'm told that BJP's West Bengal chief Shukanto Majumdar is joining us on the phone line. Mr. Majumdar, we are learning that there has been a fresh clash with the police as far as the BJP workers are concerned.
Police is not allowing us to perform our dharna. We have chosen a place which is not under the section 144. But police is falsely stating that the area is under section 144. Our district president asked the police officer that they should furnish the paper, but till now the administration could not furnish any kind of paper that area chosen by us for dharna is under section 144. The problem is that CM herself is disturbing the communal harmony of the state, and we have, I am very sorry to say that we have a DG which is really worthless DG we have, and I think he has taken supari to destroy the peace of the state of West Bengal.
Well, Mr. Mazumdar, this is Kishalay from Bangla Newsroom, Republic Bangla Newsroom, and I want to ask you that you told us previously to Republic Bangla that you will anyways be visiting that spot in spite of the police stopping you. But our question is, if the police stops you and section 144 is imposed, police is saying, so are you going to return or sit there wherever police stops you and stage your dharna?
See, yesterday police furnished the paper of 144 to me. In that area, that paper, I have read it well, and this area I have chosen was not under the section 144. So I will proceed. Wherever police will stop me, I will start my dharna on the road there.
Well, Mr. Majumdar, the police is saying that it's a busy road, and also if there are further escalation of tension, then BJP will be responsible. So will it be wise to not go there, or it's better that you go there and BJP workers sit there for the dharna? What is your stand on what police is saying in this matter?
The police is just doing the lipapoti, nothing more than that. Police is not arresting the people, those thrown bombs towards Ram Navami Julus. Police is arresting only the BJP workers and the common public. The public, those don't have any connection with Ram Navami and the riots. The rioters, they are getting relief from the police and the TMC as they have the backing of TMC, and Mamata Banerjee herself disturbing the communal harmony. If police is thinking that my dharna will provoke something, so police should first arrest Mamata Banerjee for speaking that she is expecting something on 6th of this month. Even before the Ram Navami, Chief Minister herself given the indication of riots. So that means Chief Minister is provoking. Either she is having some information, on the basis of information she should take action. She should not take any action in this regard, and then the riots happen, and Mamata Banerjee is provoking the rioters for doing this kind of hegemony.
Right, Mr. Srikanto, we are seeing that how the TMC leaders and including the West Bengal Chief Minister is blaming and is called. We have seen Abhishek Banerjee's tweet also. TMC Supremo and West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has called the BJP a Dangabaz party. And they are saying that it's all BJP funded, whatever is happening there. How do you react to all of that?
Chief Minister herself provoking some fanatic public. Even I feel some Muslims are doing this, but all the Muslim is not supporter of the Mamata Banerjee. Even they also prefer the peace. The problem is that Mamata Banerjee is connected with the fanatic portion. Even in her government, the fanatic people are ministers. Even once upon a time, Mamata Banerjee actually sent the ex-Islamic organization, student organization chief as the Rajya Sabha MP, Mr. Imran. So this is the fanatic mindset of the Mamata Banerjee and TMC. Mamata Banerjee doing all these things. If BJP has done something, then the bomb should be charged from BJP's Ram Navami or Ram Navami Julus to the minority area. But from minority area, some fanatic people, they are charging bomb towards the Ram Navami. So why BJP is responsible? Can you buy a country bomb from Nukkar immediately? And it is not possible. So that means it is a planful activity It has been planned for last few days, 10 to 15 days. And who was doing those planning? Mamta should answer. Her police should answer who was doing those planning. Who gathered stones in the top of those houses?
Well, Mr. Majumdar, the last question to you is that yesterday from Digha, Mamta Banerjee told the audience that with folded hands, I request, don't vote for the riot-mongering BJP party. That's what she said, quote unquote. She said, we make roads, they break roads. So what will be your reaction to what Mamta Banerjee told the Bengal voters from yesterday from Digha?
Mamta Banerjee herself provoking the riot in West Bengal, and she is doing that to regain the minority vote. She wants to create fear, psychosis amongst the minorities. As during the last by-election, Sagardighi by-election, the minority vote shifted from TMC, and that's why Mamta Banerjee planned all these things. Ram Navami is the right of the Hindus, not from now. Almost 230 years ago, we have the document that the Bengal has the legacy of performing Ram Navami Julus, Ram Navami procession during the British period also. So Mamta Banerjee is doing or disturbing the communal harmony of this state. I will appeal all the sects of this of the people of the West Bengal, all the people of the West Bengal to maintain the peace. Don't step in the trap of Mamta Banerjee and the TMC. Even I will request the Muslim intellectuals to come forward and to make the peace, to maintain the peace in the whole state of West Bengal.
Right. All right. Many thanks, Mr. Shrikanta Majumdar, for all your views and joining us with your views on this story. Thank you so much, Mr. Majumdar. And now going across to our Bangla newsroom in Kolkata, Kishalai, we are seeing how the BJP is, of course, unrelenting and says that they will continue to stage protest. And amidst all of that, we are learning that there is a lot of security that has been beefed up, and the internet services have been also suspended. What is the latest you're learning from the ground, and how is the atmosphere on ground right now?
Well, Rakshita, as Sukanta Majumdar clearly told us that anyways, even if he stopped, he's going to visit Hooghly today in Sri Rampur. He's supposed to sit in for a dharna protest, and he's going to continue with that. He told us exclusively over phone to Republic Bangla and Republic TV. And therefore, security is being increased at one hand, as you are rightly asking. And on the other hand, we are seeing that the stage which was built for Sukanta Majumdar to sit in for the protest has been brought down by the police. They are pulling out the stage. They are disassembling the stage. On the other hand, police is also saying that because 144 section is imposed, we will not let anyone enter this area. However, BJP workers are assembling at one hand. On the other hand, police is making barricades. They are placing barricades in that area. Tension is still prevailing after yesterday night. Yesterday night, we saw how trains were stopped, bombs were hurled, and stones were pelted along with arson. And now today, still now tension is prevailing. Sukanta Majumdar, as we speak, BJP president, state president, is heading towards Hooghly, Sri Rampur, and BJP workers are also assembling. That's the ground situation there right now as we speak. Rakshita.
All right, so we're getting all the latest updates from West Bengal, and as our Republic Network, of course, keeping a close eye on all those developments that are coming in from West Bengal. But thank you so much, Kishalai, for joining us with all those details. We'll keep coming back to you for more on that. But right now, it's time for some more breaking news that we are getting in this bulletin. This coming in from Karnataka, as the battle for Karnataka is intensifying. Viewers, Karnataka Congress meeting is all set to begin shortly at AICC office. Karnataka Congress leader Siddaramaiah, DK Shivakumar, DK Suresh, along with others, to be present in the meeting. And meeting is to be headed by Mallikarjun Kharge, meeting for a final round of ticket for Karnataka Assembly elections. So we're seeing that how Congress is in full election mode now. And in the run-up to the Karnataka polls, the Congress is now, of course, getting together. It's a key meet that is slated for today. This is regarding the second candidate list. Congress is in action mode. And my colleague Harsha is joining us on the broadcast for more on this. Harsha, it's a very important meeting that is coming in, a second candidate list as far as Karnataka polls is concerned. And the Congress party, remember, we've seen a lot of fissures in the Congress party as far as the candidate list was concerned. There was a lot of tensions within the party as far as candidate list were concerned. There were many protests also we see a few days ago on that. And how do we see it now panning out for the Congress party?
Exactly, as you rightly stated, few days before also we saw protests happening in Karnataka where the local leaders and local party karyakartas were protesting, and it happened because there were several BJP leaders and the JDS leaders as well who joined the Congress party directly, and there was agitation amongst the supporters that the ticket should not be given to the leaders who have come from the different party. And now we are showing you the visuals as the meeting for the Central Election Committee has already begun. Siddaramaiah, DK Shiv Kumar, DK Suresh and Ballikarjun Kharge, MB Patil, BK Hari Prasad and Randeep Singh Surjewala are going to participate in this meeting of Central Election Committee, where the second list for the candidates will be announced and it will be finalized, because till now what we are learning is that 124 candidates have already been announced on March of 25th, and now the names for the second list has to be finalized for the 100 seats, and it becomes very important because Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar's name was in the first list. Siddaramaiah is supposed to contest from the Varuna Assembly constituency, while DK Shiv Kumar from the Kanakpura Assembly constituency. But what we are learning is that Siddaramaiah already expressed that he wants to also fight from Kolar Assembly constituency, but there were several disagreement from the local party leaders from that particular constituency, because of which till now the Kolar Assembly constituency have not been given to Siddaramaiah. And today a very important list will be finalized of the 100 candidates, which has to be revealed after this meeting of the Central Election Committee commences at the AICC head office, because the leaders have already come, and now we are also seeing the local leaders and karyakartas from the Karnataka who are here outside AICC office, who are expecting their name to be in the second list of Karnataka Assembly constituency, because elections are on May 10th and the results will be declared on 13th of May. And till now we have been seeing that what is the model which Karnataka Congress leaders have been projecting on ground is that corrupt-free Karnataka, because they have been stating that BJP have been compromising with the corruption activities over there in Karnataka, and that's what they are completely hitting again and again on the Basavaraj Bommai government, completely stating that they are involved in the corruption activities, and that is what we have to eradicate from the Karnataka. So this is a very important meeting. As we show you, several Karnataka leaders, karyakartas and supporters have already gathered outside the AICC office, and all eyes on the Kolar constituency, because Siddaramaiah also wants the Kolar Assembly constituency that he should be fielded from this constituency as well. But till now there were disagreements amongst the local party leaders, because of which Congress is not much in favor of the idea of Siddaramaiah to be fielded from that very Kolar constituency as well. Back to you.
Right, Harsha, and as we were talking about the infighting and the protests within the Congress party before the list came out, this of course is the second list that is scheduled to be released soon. We're talking about two important figures here as far as Congress is concerned in Karnataka. Harsha, we have a DK Shivakumar and we have a Siddaramaiah. Are we also expecting that there will be some talks, and are you picking up anything on who will be the CM face for Congress party as far as this battleground Karnataka is concerned?
till now the party has not opened its cards, who is going to be the CM candidate, because a lot of tussle on ground is also already being seen between the two very important leaders, Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar, and all eyes are on that only, that who will be the CM candidate. Congress is going to project whom, because DK Shiv Kumar, since from the very first day of campaigning, has been stating that right now I am the Karnataka Congress president, but he has a high scope for becoming the CM candidate as well. But Siddaramaiah being the former CM, his hopes are also high that this time also the Congress is going to project him as the CM candidate. But what exactly the Karnataka leaders are thinking, let me straight go to them. Sir, what all you are thinking about the CM candidate, because you all are here outside AICC. Who should be the CM candidate? Because right now there's a lot of tussle between Siddaramaiah and DK Shiv Kumar, both the big leaders of Karnataka.
Yeah. I think the party should give both the people the opportunity, madam. 2.5 years for them, 2.5 years for them.
So these are the thoughts of the leaders and local karyakartas who are present outside AICC. So we need to wait and watch exactly what will come outside from the central election meeting of Congress. Back to you.
Right, of course. All right. Thank you so much, Harsha, for getting us all those inputs on that story. We'll keep coming back to you for more on that story. In the run-up to the battleground Karnataka, it's an important development there. But right now, we are getting in some more updates into this bulletin. And this is regarding the train mishap in Kerala. It's a big lead, in fact, in the Kerala train incident that claimed the lives of at least 3 people. And sources have informed Republic TV that Kerala police suspect a terror angle in this train mishap issue. Kerala police have in fact formed an anti-terror squad to investigate the matter, apart from the SIT constituted to catch the accused. It is also stated that NIA team is constantly in touch with Kerala police regarding the same. All right, my colleague Varshini is joining us from... All right, we are being joined by a reporter on ground in Kozhikode. Varshini is joining us. Varshini, this is a big development, of course, what we have been calling a mishap. It seems to be it's in fact a conspiracy. The police are suspecting a terror angle now in this incident.
Rakshita, that is exactly the situation currently ongoing here in Kerala. The terror angle is being probed by the police officials in Kerala. And right now, if you see, we are in the Kerala's Kozhikode's Government Medical College Hospital, where these victims who have been injured severely are getting treated. And more than 15 to 18 people have been injured in this incident. And almost we have one single person, Anil Kumar, who has more than 35% of burns, and he is in the ICU right now, and his family is with us to talk to us regarding what they have gathered from his wife and son, who's also been injured and also been getting treated, and the wife was able to speak a little bit, and we have the family who spoke to her. Vanakkam sir, unga per?
Ende peru Shaji.
Sir, unga kitta enna nadandhuchenu sonnanga?
Train le magalappa molappa kandu thirichu varumo. പിന്നെ ട്രെയിനിൽ ഇരിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഒരാൾ വന്ന് പെട്ടെന്ന് 2 കുപ്പിയിൽ പെട്രോൾ ഒഴിച്ച് തീ കൊടുത്തത്. ആൾ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല. പിന്നെ അനിയേട്ടന് നല്ല വർക്കാണ്. ഒരു 35% പൊള്ളലുണ്ട് എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. മോനൊരു 20% പൊള്ളലുണ്ട്. അമ്മയ്ക്ക് ചെറിയ പൊള്ളലേ ഉള്ളൂ. പിന്നെ അനിയേട്ടൻ്റെ തലമുടി, പിന്നെ മീശ, താടി, കഴുത്ത് എല്ലാം കരിഞ്ഞു പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്.
So he says that the father, mother and the son were traveling in the train, and the mother is able to talk a little bit, and she told that suddenly a man came with 2 bottles of petrol and he threw the petrol on everybody and he set fire to them. And she also has said that since it all happened in in a fraction of a second, they were not able to remember the face now, since they were all in shock. And the father has currently has more than 35% of injuries, including face, hair, the neck, etc. The mother has a little bit of injury. The son has more than 15% of injuries. So the entire family who came to Kozhikode to meet their daughter, who is studying medicine in this particular college, and they were on the way back to their hometown when this has happened, and they have now been brought as patients back to this hospital where they came to visit the daughter. And it is an unfortunate incident that has taken place here. And sir, police investigation pati enna par.
ഇന്നലെ കളക്ടർ വന്നിരുന്നു, CA വന്നു, SP വന്നു, പിന്നെ ഇതെടുത്ത് പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. പ്രശ്നമൊന്നുമില്ല. കളക്ടർ പറഞ്ഞു എന്ത് വിഷയം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും പിന്നെ ഞങ്ങളോട് സംസാരിച്ചാൽ നമുക്ക് എന്ത് വേണമെങ്കിൽ ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്.
ഡോക്ടേഴ്സ് എന്നാ പറയും?
ഡോക്ടർ പറഞ്ഞു വലിയ വിഷയമൊന്നുമില്ല. പിന്നെ കളക്ടർ ഒപ്പരായിരുന്നു ഡോക്ടറും. ഒരു പറഞ്ഞു എന്ത് വിഷയം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് മാറ്റാൻ ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഡോക്ടറും പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്.
അനാ ചേച്ചി ആളെ കണ്ടിട്ടില്ല?
ചേച്ചി എങ്ങനെയാണെന്ന് അറിയില്ല, കണ്ടിനൊന്നും ഉറപ്പില്ല.
Okay, thank you. So he says the collector had visited, the police officials have visited. They're all promised to make sure that the victim will, the accused will be captured as soon as possible. And the hospital and the doctors and the management have also spoken to them, saying that they will be cured at the earliest.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, Varshini, for joining us with all those details from Kozhikode. We'll keep coming back to you for more developments. But viewers, it's time now to move on to some stories that are making headlines from across the globe. Now, former United States President Donald Trump arrived at Trump Tower in New York ahead of his historic booking and arraignment on hush money charges amidst heightened security. The case against Trump stems from payments made during his 2016 campaign. Meanwhile, the Pentagon responded to reports on whether or not China's spy balloon that was able to gather intelligence data on US military sites and transmit the data to the Chinese government before the Biden administration shot down the balloon days later off the coast of South Carolina, saying that US is on high alert.
Because of the steps that we were able to take, we were able to prevent transmission of certain aspects of our sites to be transmitted, just because of the precautionary steps that we were able to take. But in terms of transmission back to the PRC and what was able to be transmitted back, I just don't have further information for you at this time. As of right now, we're still doing an assessment of what exactly the intel was that China was able to gather, but we do know that the steps that we took provided little additive value for what they've been able to collect on from satellites before.
The security minister of the province of Buenos Aires was attacked by dozens of bus drivers who were protesting the murder of a colleague during a robbery. Sergio Berni was seen being punched by at least one driver, and stones were also thrown at him. In the aftermath of Bakhmut shelling, evacuation from Bakhmut has now become almost impossible. The Ukrainian military has been trying to rescue residents in armored vehicles as attacks from Russia continue. Israel launched airstrikes on the southern suburbs of the Syrian capital of Damascus early Tuesday, causing some material damage. Israel's conflict with Iran in Syria has intensified over the past few days, with 4 strikes on the Damascus area in the central province of Homs, killing 2 Iranian military advisors last week. Israel's military fighter jets intercepted an unidentified aircraft over the Gaza Strip that did not enter Israel's airspace. The Palestinian militant group Hamas, which rules the Gaza Strip, said that the intercepted aircraft was one of its unmanned attack drones conducting an exercise. 4 were killed in front of one of the most renowned hotels of the resort city of Cancun on Mexico's Caribbean coast. The deaths occurred at the beginning of Holy Week, one of the busiest tourist seasons for the resort. Authorities say 2 have been arrested in the case. Thousands took to the streets calling for gun reform in a rally outside the Tennessee state capital in Nashville. Many of them were students from Nashville area schools who walked out of their classes where deadly shooting was reported last week. On the western side of the storm lines in the United States that developed have been extremely dry conditions in Oklahoma that have combined with high winds and fueled several large wildfires that have forced interstate closures and sent residents fleeing from their homes. A heavy downpour flooded parts of northwestern Peru, leaving some residents afraid that their homes might collapse, causing further damage. Many families had to abandon their homes because of the floods. And Mexico's Football Federation have launched an investigation after footage emerged from of a referee appearing to knee a player during America's match against Leon on Saturday. Here's a report.
A referee was caught on camera kneeing a player in the groin during a Liga MX match last Saturday. The match footage showed match official Fernando Hernandez hit Leon's Lucas Romero. But this was not all. Another incident in the game was the brawl between two managers. Watch how Leon's Nicholas Larkerman tore a t-shirt during the brawl. While Leon scored first, America scored twice in 3 minutes, but the opponent managed to score at injury time. Agency report for Republic TV.
All right, time for a short break, but lots more on the other side. Big political face-off over Prime Minister's degree remark. NCP now comes out in support. And poster wars continue to rage on in the national capital. Anti-Aam Aadmi Party posters outside BJP office. Lots more on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
रामनवमी जुलूस में उपद्रव के बाद नालंदा जिले में अभी भी स्थिति तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। हमारे साथ ये देखिए ये महिला बटालियन है जो कि मार्च कर रही है। बिल्कुल कर्फ्यू सा नजारा है। देख सकते हैं कि आसपास के जो दुकान हैं सभी बंद हैं। स्थिति जो है तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। एक युवक के मौत के बाद 2 लोग जख्मी हुए हैं। 62 लोग की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। धारा 144 पूरे नालंदा जिले में लगा हुआ है।
The BJP Shiv Sena Savarkar Gaurav Yatra has already been commenced, and we can see the Chief Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde, who has been present in the same yatra, and this is against the statement of Rahul Gandhi. We remember in the last press conference where Rahul Gandhi has stated that he is Gandhi and not Savarkar, and Gandhi never apologized. Right after which we saw there was a press conference that was called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, clearly condemning the statement of Rahul Gandhi, and there they have announced that there will be a Savarkar Gaurav Yatra across Maharashtra. So it has been started from today. It will go on till 8th of April.
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's P. Chidambaram right now. Madam, he's been arrested. But it was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us.
NIA की टीम बाजे को लेकर यहाँ पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे इसी
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here at They're trying to stop today the
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Martha? Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking you.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's P. Chidambaram right now. Madam, he's been arrested on the screen. Mr. Vazir, why to arrest him? Because it was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us from reporting.
यहाँ पर लिखा गया है स्टैंड। इसी जगह से सचिन वाजे को बोला गया था खड़े रहने के लिए।
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. They're trying to stop the car.
Everybody has right to self-determine. If I say Punjab is a separate country,
Viewers, we are live and breaking and you're watching Republic TV. This morning, I am Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest. Lot of breaking updates coming, but first the headlines we are tracking right now. Tensions continue to simmer in West Bengal after fresh late-night violence in Hooghly. Fresh face-off in West Bengal as BJP workers clash with Mamta's corps over Hooghly violence. Opposition divided over fake degree attack. NCP now comes out in Prime Minister support. China provokes on Arunachal Pradesh. Vadra Congress politicizes attacks Prime Minister Modi. Bhutan king on a 3-day visit to India set to meet Prime Minister Modi and President Murmu. And hush money scandal haunts Trump, a former US president now in New York, set to surrender. Viewers, getting some breaking updates coming in right now. Let's go straight. China has once more provoked. That's right. Once again provoking, and this time on Arunachal Pradesh, and politicizing the same Vadra Congress has now waded into the debate, saying for the third time, China has dared to rename our areas in Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh is and will remain an integral part of India. Now also saying that after Galwan, the country is facing the consequences of Modi ji giving a clean chit to China. So viewers, once more we are getting this provocation coming in, this time on Arunachal Pradesh. And Vadra Congress wading into the debate, wading into the issue, politicizing the issue once more. Now for the third time, China has dared to rename our areas in Arunachal Pradesh. China has dared to rename the areas in Arunachal Pradesh. And this is the big breaking we have got for you right now, where Congress is politicizing the China provocation, viewers. Getting these back-to-back updates coming in right now. And this has been happening for a while right now because China has made attempts again and again to rename places in Arunachal Pradesh. All right, let's go straight across to Abhishek Kapoor, a senior executive editor, to get us more details. Abhishek, China provoking again on Arunachal. We're getting some more details coming in, and also Vadra Congress once again jumping into the debate.
It's really unfortunate that the Congress party should be doing this. Remember, this is not the first time that the Chinese are up to it. They have been doing it often, and this is part of their larger game plan that actual land grab and salami slicing is preceded by cartographic aggression, where they change facts on the map first and then change the facts on the ground. And it's not that this has gone unresponded. So India also has been bolstering its infrastructure on our borders with China. We also have been naming areas. We have been responding in kind. What is important is that the Chinese designs on its neighbors is not badgering a tiny Bhutan, for example. And that's something for the Global Committee of Nations to seize.
All right, we'll just go straight across to Abhishek Kapoor in just a moment there, senior executive editor, where we are seeing that Vadra Congress is politicizing the entire issue. In fact, a tweet has come in from Mallikarjun Kharge. He has said, and I quote here, for the third time, China has dared to rename our areas in Arunachal Pradesh. And he's also adding there that after Galwan, the country is facing the consequences of Modi ji giving a clean chit to China. That's exactly what Mallikarjun Kharge has said on this issue. Let's go straight to Abhishek. Abhishek, you were telling us more about this tweet. Now, this tweet has come in. This tweet has come in from Mallikarjun Kharge, who has said after Galwan, the country is facing the consequences of Modi ji giving a clean chit to China. That's the kind of statement coming in from Mallikarjun Kharge. Abhishek Kapoor.
Shivangi, so what we were discussing just before the line snapped was that the Chinese are up to it for quite some time, and not just with India, with every one of its neighbors. So along the 9-dash line, all the neighbors there, Vietnam, Indonesia, Taiwan, and in the South China Sea, then towards the east with Japan and the Hooghly Islands, and then in the case of India, of course, in Arunachal and Ladakh. One would say, China calls itself China, we call it China. So there's this sense of nomenclature. But the fact of the matter is how we respond, and that's important. And the manner in which India has responded over the last few years post-Doklam clearly shows that this is a very different India. So the mirror deployments that have taken place along Ladakh, the manner in which we pushed back recently in Tawang, based on absolute pinpoint intelligence that we had about the Chinese troop movement, clearly shows that we are really taking the Chinese head on, and even experts agree, strategic affairs experts globally, that the manner in which India is responding militarily to China, but no nation has done its entire history of its entire post-independence history. So I think in that sense, a lot of things are happening in terms of improving our border infrastructure, in terms of our response time. Whenever there is Chinese movement along any part of the border, be it towards the east in Arunachal or towards the west and north in Ladakh. So I think in that sense, a lot of things are happening, but then this is a regular Chinese irritant, and that is the reason why our External Affairs Minister says that India-China relationship is not normal and is not going to be normal till the time that these Chinese, this Chinese conduct of provoking off and on does not stop. So I think messaging, so far as messaging is concerned, India is very clear, very upfront, very forthright about it. And if the Chinese are not really willing to listen, then obviously the world would respond in kind, and that's what exactly happening. So the kind of standing that a nation of China's power and wealth would ideally have, China does not have. And the reason is that nobody increasingly is trusting Chinese because of their dead diplomacy, because of their bullying, because of their salami slicing, because of their unilateral changes along the borders, not just with India, with other nations as well, because of their resource hunting and taking even some African nations in trap. They have done that with Sri Lankans. They have done that with Pakistan. Essentially, almost has become a semi-autonomous province of China. And they have done that in Sri Lanka. They have done that now, increasingly doing it with Myanmar. So I think the world sees it and is responding. It might take a while post-pandemic to really shift the supply chains, which were built over a period of 3 decades or so. But then Congress position really unfortunate given the kind of response we have given to the Chinese over the last few years.
Right. Abhishek also being joined right now. Abhishek, we are being joined right now by Tom Vadakar of the BJP joining us on the phone line. Thank you for joining us here on Republic TV. Mr. Vadakar, your first reaction coming in. This tweet from Mallikarjun Kharge where he's politicizing China's provocation. That's what's happening here.
Well, China will provoke. We are powerful enough to take on any challenge. If Kharge does not understand that, that's because the MOU his team has signed with China, because they believe India cannot take on China. But the reality is we are well prepared. They may take steps, they will provoke. That has been the nature of the Chinese dispensation. But we are not afraid. Our army, navy, air force is all ready. And the line of actual control is fully aware of these developments. And we are ready to give them a fitting reply. But then, when they sign these MOUs and all that stuff, they are worried. Because that they feel that the Chinese side needs to be protected. Unfortunate indeed that the new Congress president has the same view of the former Congress president that he signed an MOU. Their favorites are China. What do you do with them? I mean, there's nothing much you can say because ultimately the moral support, whatever support that comes in from China and the ecosystem, they believe it will bring them to power. But people in India believe in the ballot, and the ballot is not the bullet which the Chinese threaten. Here the ballot works, democracy is in full play. These things don't work. You can't make a connect with the enemy and then and say that we are weak or the government is weak. The reality is you are weak, and that is why you make these alliances with our enemies.
Right. Right. Okay. Tom Vadakan, thank you so much. BJP spokesperson also being joined by RP Singh of the BJP here on Republic. Now we're seeing that Arunachal Pradesh's places being named or renamed like China is trying to. That has provoked India multiple times. So first reaction coming in as we are seeing Mallikarjun Kharge, he's actually directly even attacking the Prime Minister for giving a clean chit to China. In the past, we have seen how India has taken a strong stand against Chinese provocation.
Well, Mr. Kharge and his party is in alliance with the Communist Party of China, and then whatever China does, and then whatever they speak, they do in tandem. And China can name any part of the world as their by their name, but fact is the control and the people who stays are purely with India and then the Indian territory. Mr. Kharge should please go by the words of the army chief, who is on record categorically stated that not an inch of land of Indian soil is with China. When they question the Indian occupation on Indian land, they basically question the Indian army, the value of the Indian army. That's what Congress is known for. They keep trying to do this again and again and keep raising question on Indian army.
Right. And RP Singh, earlier, remember during the Tawan face-off, we saw that how Rahul Gandhi had questioned our forces back then. And even after Rahul Gandhi questioned the Indian army, our forces, about what really happened during the India-China border standoff, the stand taken in by the Indian government back then, this is just last year, was that India successfully made the Chinese retreat. And even after that, this kind of statement coming in, what do you really make out of this statement from Mallikarjun Kharge?
As I said, the leaders in the Congress party, who seems to be on the payroll of Communist Party of China, Congress party itself, Rajiv Gandhi Foundation, received huge amount from Communist Party of China and their embassy here. That's why they keep raising question on Indian valor of the Indian army, and then they keep questioning the Indian army. Fact is, Mr. Kharge or Mr. Rahul Gandhi, they are trying to build an ecosystem and a narrative because of political objectives, and they know that they can't defeat Prime Minister Modi by electoral battle. That's why they try to build this up. And Mr. Rahul Gandhi is on record saying that "Hamare 20 jawan pit gaye." The fact was the other way around, and we all saw that on the TV channels also. How our jawans took touches with the PLA, the People's Liberal the Army. But that's how Congress is. They have to speak the language of their masters across the border.
All right. Thank you, RP Singh, BJP spokesperson, for joining us here on Republic TV. So that is the big question being raised right now is that Congress is politicizing China's provocation. Why are they doing it? This tweet has come in from Mallikarjun Kharge viewers. This tweet has come in. I just read the tweet out once again. So the tweet says, and this is the tweet from Mallikarjun Kharge, for the third time, China has dared to rename our areas in Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh is and will remain an integral part of India. After Galwan, the country is facing the consequences of Modi ji giving a clean chit to China. So that is what the Congress has said, and it is a tweet which is also targeting the Prime Minister, viewers. Getting these details coming in, also being joined right now by Major General P.K. Sehgal joining us. Thank you for joining us here. Your first reaction coming into this kind of... at one hand, we are seeing that once again, brazen China is trying to rename areas in Arunachal Pradesh. On the other hand, we are seeing that the Congress is targeting the Prime Minister.
As far as China is concerned, China continues to be arrogant, China continues to be expensive, China continues to rename areas of Arunachal. But the present dispensation is very strong and very strongly saying, come what may, there will be no change in the status whatsoever. And we are very stoutly defending the said status. Yes, China continues to occupy 40,000 square kilometers of land that was lost to China during the UPA government. In fact, it was the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru when we lost it, and no effort was made thereafter by the governments thereafter by 50 to 60 years of Congress rule to ever take back or challenge China. Nor did the modernization take place of the variety that it is taking place today. Today we are building infrastructure at a breakneck pace. In fact, almost 70 roads have been completed. 35 more roads are likely to be completed by 2025. So many tunnels have been made, so many bridges have been made, and Air Force, the Army and the Navy are being equipped with force multipliers which can thwart any ambition of China whatsoever. This sort of effort never took place in the past. And China clearly understands and knows that should it do any mischief, perhaps China would be embarrassed in a similar manner as what happened when they went to teach a lesson to Vietnam. In fact, they learned the lesson.
Right. Right, Major General. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Major General P.K. Sehgal, for joining us here. I'm also being joined right now by Kamru Chaudhary of the Congress, who's joining us. My first question to you, Mr. Chaudhary, is that if you could explain exactly what Mallikarjun Kharge means by this tweet, because he is saying that after Galwan, the country is facing the consequences of Modi ji giving a clean chit to China. So what exactly is he trying to convey here?
Well, the topic of discussion should have been whether China has aggressed within our boundaries, whether China has occupied few kilometers of our land, whether China is renaming cities in Arunachal Pradesh or villages in Ladakh. These are the questions that need to be answered. When Kharge has raised some important questions against the BJP government and particularly against the Prime Minister of the country, isn't it imperative of the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister to state and declare exactly what is the position along our borders instead of whataboutery about who said what? It's not the matter of the Kharge. Kharge has raised very important question of our security and of our border. China has transgressed into our territory. That is the bottom line. What is our response to China? That answers need to be answered immediately. The government should immediately release the factual position of India vis-a-vis China along the Arunachal and the Ladakh borders. These are the answers that we all as a countrymen are asking from the Prime Minister Modi. Instead of jhula-jhuluing with the Chinese premier, it is very much essential that he comes clean on China.
But Mr. Kamru Chaudhary, the last time, remember during the Tawang face-off, we saw that Rahul Gandhi had said that China has taken our land, they are beating out our soldiers. That's a comment which had come in from Rahul Gandhi, even though we saw what happened where the Indian soldiers had successfully helped in retreating. In fact, the Chinese soldiers had to retreat because of the Indian soldiers' actions. So how does that really make a kind of a connection to what really happened to this tweet which Mallikarjun Kharge has put out? What does it really mean? Because in the past, the Indian soldiers have successfully led to the retreat of the Chinese soldiers.
Well, you see, madam, there are contradictory statements from the Prime Minister of India and the Defence Minister of India. Prime Minister says, "Na koi gussa hai, na ghusne denge," whereas the Home Minister, the Defence Minister categorically admits that there have been incursions within the Indian border by the Chinese. So we are confused as to whose statement is correct. Either the Prime Minister has been lying on the floor of the Parliament, or the Defence Minister is clueless as to what is happening at the border. So we all, as a countryman, have rightly demanded what is the factual position on ground along the Arunachal and Chinese border. That's the bottom line.
Right. Okay, so how do you see a solution to this problem? If you're saying this is a problem, what is the solution that the Congress party really is thinking of right now? Because they are saying, and I'll read this tweet out again for the third time, China has dared to rename our areas in Arunachal Pradesh, and Arunachal is and will remain a part of India. But the country is facing the consequences of Modi ji giving a clean chit to China. So what is exactly the solution that the Congress thinks is going to help the situation? Because China has been provoking India not once, not twice, multiple times over decades now.
Well, madam, you see the response that came from Indian government last time when 20 of our brave jawans were martyred along the Indo-Chinese border. At that time, what did the Indian government do? They banned a few porn sites and few, TikToks were banned. But then ultimately the response from the Chinese side and Indian side was India-Chinese import increased to around $100 billion. So you cannot have a lopsided view with vis-a-vis the commerce part and the internal and the security of our country on the other hand. When we had a Zakir Naik who was declared a fugitive by Indian government, that time the Malaysia
Kamru Chaudhary, please stay on. Please stay on with us. Kamru Chaudhary, please stay on with us because I'm being joined by Nanil Kohli of the BJP joining us as well. Please stay on with us, Mr. Chaudhary. Mr. Kohli, thank you for joining us here. Your first reaction to this development coming in, because China has tried 2 times before to rename Arunachal Pradesh's areas. 3rd time being made, but this time Mallikarjun Kharge directly attacking the Prime Minister.
This perhaps is born more out of a frustration that the Congress party and its leadership is feeling with regards to the work and performance of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji's government on all fronts, whether it is development, whether it is foreign policy, whether it is in securing India's interests, whether it is transforming India into a new India in terms of the future in economic development, infrastructure, caring for the poor, etc. Now, what can be more ironical than what Mr. Kharge says, who's such a senior leader? It is the Congress party, and it is no less than Rahul Gandhi ji, who sought to meet secretly the Chinese ambassador, as the media had reported, during one of the confrontations with China. Perhaps it was Doklam. It is the Congress party that entered into an agreement with the Communist Party of China. It is Mr. Rahul Gandhi who always chooses to question the armed forces, as also other Congress leaders, when their valor is on display in protecting the motherland, whether it is Balkot, whether it is surgical strikes, armed forces, and what they say about our border issues across the country. So this statement is not borne by facts. This statement is an incorrect representation, perhaps, because if one really has to study the complex issue of border, the complex border issue with China, then perhaps Mr. Kharge, being such a senior person, would do well to go back into history and start with Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and look at the history of the border, the lands that have been given away, particularly Aksai Chin, the famous statements by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru with regard to the utility of that land or the lack of utility of those lands, the fact that these could not and were not resolved for several decades that the Congress was in power, going back to the 1962 war from Indian Chini Bhai, that is from the Great Brotherhood, to literally the Indian positions being challenged by lack of preparation. If it were not the valor of the armed forces at that time, exemplary bravery against all odds, perhaps India's situation would have been worse than what it was. It was the will of Indians who wanted to defeat the Chinese forces and not allow the motherland to be swamped by them that showed what a display. And we must compliment and thank our forefathers and those who were in the armed forces for that display of valor. So the Congress party must bear in mind, every time you show one finger one way, 3 points to you.
Right. Thank you so much, Nanil Kohli, BJP national spokesperson, for joining us. Getting some more breaking news. It seems as viewers, the MEA response has come in. The first MEA response is in on China's provocation. The statement reads in a quote here: "We have seen such reports. This is not the first time China has made such an attempt. We reject this outright. We reject this outright." Let's go back to our senior executive editor, Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, first MEA response coming in right now, Abhishek.
Well, yes, and along expected lines, Shivangi, because remember, we have been seeing this Chinese renaming activity happening. This is the 3rd time they have done this, and every time India has rejected it outright, and that's exactly what we are doing this time. Obviously, this is how it has to be, because the Chinese believe that before they try to alter facts on the ground by sending in troops, by salami slicing and whatever. They need to do cartographic aggression and change facts on the maps. And that's the reason, in fact, why those complex rounds of talks that have happened between the two sides on the boundary question remain intractable, because the Chinese continue to move the goalposts, Chinese continue to change maps, Chinese continue to continue the renaming activity, essentially because they don't want to really settle the boundary question. They don't want to settle it with India, they don't want to settle it with Bhutan, they don't want to settle the issues with Philippines and Indonesia, they don't want to settle, obviously, because they want to capture Taiwan fully, and they don't want to settle things with Japan. So it's typical Chinese Middle Kingdom complex, but India, of course, does what it has to do. Militarily, we have responded very strongly, and outrightly rejecting this latest round of renaming activity being done by the Chinese on Arunachal Pradesh, which they continue to dispute. And maybe high time that India evolves its Tibet strategy and pays back to the Chinese in kind. But then that might be a work in progress. As of now, any reaction coming in the first after the Chinese release the renaming of places, the list of renamed places in Arunachal, and India outrightly rejecting the Chinese act, and the NEA spokesperson Arindam Bagchi making it clear that this is something which is unacceptable, and Arunachal Pradesh, of course, is an integral part of India. It's a fact on the ground, and it cannot be changed.
Right, Abhishek. So this is a first response coming in right now. Is reading this again, and they're saying it once more. MEA is saying, taking India's stance that Arunachal Pradesh has been and will always be an integral and inalienable part of India. Attempts to assign invented names will not alter this reality. So that is a big statement coming in from the MEA. And the big question is this, and I also raised this issue with Kamru Chaudhary of the Congress when he had joined us on Republic TV, that when China is provoking for the third time when it comes to renaming Arunachal Pradesh, we are seeing, Abhishek, that this time, even though the Chinese provocation has continued for decades, the Congress chose to directly blame the Prime Minister. That was very, very kind of a shocking development, Abhishek.
Well, I mean, it's unfortunate the Congress party does so. There are legacy issues with the Chinese, and they go back to the time when Congress has been in power, right up to the times of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, India's first Prime Minister. There are legacy issues which are from the 2004 to 2014 period, as well as, of course, in the decades before that. So those are being handled. It's a very different response that the Chinese have got from India over the last few years, from Doklam to Ladakh, post Galwan, and the deployments, the escalation, the de-escalation, the counter moves, the taking over of the northern bank of Pangong, the Finger area, India's response in the Galwan Valley, and the deployments continue. Obviously, I think the messaging has been clear that India is not going to really take the Chinese bullying and aggression lying down. But as I said, this is a larger question. It's not just about India, it's about the Chinese Middle Kingdom complex, and possibly there has to be a grouping of nations affected by Chinese bullying, and then a common response is needed.
Right. All right. Thank you so much, Abhishek Kapoor, for joining us here. That is a big breaking we have got. MEA responds after China's provocation and saying very, very, very clearly that that this is a big rejection from India's side of what China is trying to do. All right. Taking a very short break, viewers. Much more coming up on the other side as we continue to get you the top updates on India's #1 news network. Opposition is divided over the fake degree attack. NCP now comes out in Prime Minister's support.
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Right now. He's been because it was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us.
And पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे इसी
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here at Hooghly. They're trying to stop. Today the whole nation is looking at you. What exactly are your thoughts? Why must
रामनवमी जुलूस में उपद्रव के बाद नालंदा जिले में अभी भी स्थिति तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। हमारे साथ ये देखिए ये महिला बटालियन है जो कि मार्च कर रही है। बिल्कुल कर्फ्यू सा नजारा है। देख सकते हैं कि आसपास के जो दुकान हैं सभी बंद हैं। स्थिति जो है तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। एक युवक के मौत के बाद 2 लोग जख्मी हुए हैं। 62 लोगों की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। धारा 144 पूरे नालंदा जिले में लगा हुआ है।
The BJP Shiv Sena Savarkar Gaurav Yatra has already been commenced, and we can see the Chief Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde who has been present in the same yatra, and this is against the statement of Rahul Gandhi. We remember in the last press conference where Rahul Gandhi has stated that he is Gandhi and not Savarkar, and Gandhi never apologized. Right after which we saw there was a press conference that was called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis clearly condemning the statement of Rahul Gandhi, and there they have announced that there will be a Savarkar Gaurav Yatra across Maharashtra. So it has been started from today. It will go.
The Congress's politics is on, uses China provocation to target Prime Minister Modi. India sets the record straight, rejects China's renaming move, says Arunachal Pradesh is an integral part of India. And the BJP takes on the Congress, says the Congress cannot be one to preach. Violence continues in West Bengal as tensions continue to simmer. The opposition remains divided over the fake degree attack. The NCP now comes to the Prime Minister's support. Man sets co-passengers on fire in a Kerala train. Hunt still on to nab the accused. The Bhutanese king is in India, met the NSA Ajit Doval earlier this morning. Hush money scandal haunts Donald Trump. The former US president is in New York for his arraignment. Good morning and thank you very much for staying with us on Republic TV. This is Live and Breaking. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. We are cutting across right to West Bengal, where we are getting pictures of BJP workers clashing with the police in West Bengal over Shukanta Majumdar's protest against violence that was reported from Hooghly. Now, Majumdar was supposed to sit for a dharna to protest against the violence. However, the police says that the dharna will not be allowed. According to police sources, the dharna does not have the requisite permissions in place. The BJP organizers, on the other hand, say that due permissions were taken from the administration. And Shukanta Majumdar, over the phone to Republic Bangla, had said that he will anyways be visiting Sri Rampur for a sit-in protest against the Rishra violence. We are also told that the police currently are bringing down the stage that was built for this protest. So as tensions continue to simmer in Hooghly, there's a political war also that's on currently between the BJP and the TMC, with the BJP essentially saying that they are not being allowed to protest. Let's go across to Bhaskar, who is reporting on this. Bhaskar, the political battle between the TMC and the BJP is peaking right now. Now, the BJP has been denied permission of staging a protest. Give us the latest.
Well, Nupur, yes, absolutely. As you were saying, the political debate is now peaking between BJP and the ruling party in West Bengal, Trinamool Congress. And just a few minutes back, Section 144 was imposed in Srirampur police station area, in which BJP state president Shukanto Mujumdar was about to stage a sit-in protest against this violence. And just before that, Section 144 was imposed by the local police authorities, and as per the BJP, this is nothing but a way to stop the party, the BJP, the main opposition party in West Bengal. But Shukanto Mujumdar and other BJP leaders, we spoke with them, and they are clearly mentioning that they will go to Srirampur as the schedule follows. And of course, if police provokes or the police puts a barricade on their route, they will start dharna on that very place where the police will step action against them.
Now, Bhaskar, once Section 144 is imposed, it is impossible for gatherings essentially to take place because Section 144 prohibits gatherings. So how does the BJP intend to take that on?
Well, can you please repeat your question?
I was saying, Bhaskar, you were talking about the fact that Section 144 has been imposed in this area. So how is the BJP hoping to tackle that aspect, because that bars any gathering? All right, I'm afraid.
Nupur, BJP is questioning about the 144.
Yes, please continue, Bhaskar.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please continue.
Yes, Nupur, BJP is questioning the police and the administration, because as per the BJP leaders and other opposition party leaders aren't allowed to go inside violence hit places, but the ruling party leaders, the TMC leaders, they are allowed to go and roam around the violence hit places in Risha and the surrounding. So what's
leaders, they are trying to visit, and as per the BJP leadership, under Section 144 was imposed, but one party office was vandalized by mob in Odisha, and so the BJP leaders, they are trying to go and reach out to their party workers and to support them to
all right, Bhaskar, I'm afraid that's a very poor audio connection that we have with you. We're going to fix that and come back to you. Bhaskar, of course, is traveling to the site where clashes have been reported from last night, and hence the poor audio. Thank you, Bhaskar. Well, the NIA team that is investigating the Kerala train accident has now reached Kannur. Searches are being carried out, and sources suggest that a terror angle is not being ruled out. Now, do remember that in this terror attack, a person had essentially flung a petrol bomb at passengers and resulting in deaths. We are also given to understand that the Kerala police had told the anti-terror squad to investigate the matter, apart from the SIT that's been constituted to be able to nab the main accused in this case, who's still on the run. Varshini is reporting live. She joins us from Kozhikode. Varshini, give us the latest in terms of the police investigation now. The terror angle that is emerging seems to suggest that there could have been a bigger conspiracy.
Well, absolutely, yes, Nipur. The terror angle is the biggest talk here in Kerala. While we try to understand the bigger picture here behind this whole investigation that is happening, we understand that an anti-terror squad has been constituted by the Kerala police. The NIA officials, a team of NIA officials have landed in Kannur, and they will also be, trying to get details about this case. And probably there is an expectation that this case could be handed over to the NIA, since there is a terror angle that is being linked to here. Right now, we are in the additional Director General of Police's office, and as we speak, a high-level meeting is happening inside. The ADGP and the IG, the commissioners, all the important police officials are discussing whether the Kerala police will be handing over this case completely to NIA or not, since this terror angle is not yet completely established here. It's just a suspect. It's just a it is just a suspicion that the police have right now. Once it is confirmed, NIA will officially take over the case and they will be investigating, and that is why they have now landed in Kannur, and they will be also looking into all the details and the evidences that the police have gathered so far. And we also get to know from sources that the Kerala police, the railway police in fact, have drawn a sketch which they have sent around many parts of the country to make sure that this accused does not flee away very far, and that they can easily capture him. And this nabbing of the accused is the prime focus that the Kerala police, the railway police, is focusing on right now. Once this accused is taken under custody, it will be much more easier for them to come up with more details on this matter and to establish a terror link in this case. So that is exactly why the police are not giving out any official confirmation as to who is behind this, if at all any larger terror group is behind this or not. But as of now, we understand that the NIA officials are here, which is very, which is making us get a clearer picture that there is some sort of a terror angle related to this case, which the police are not able to officially confirm yet.
All right, stay with us, Varshini. Let's in fact go across live to Shravan Sen, who's reporting from our Delhi newsroom on this. Shravan, all right, I don't think we've got Shravan yet, but I'm going to come back to Varshini on this one. Varshini, describe to us the events that actually took place, because earlier on, the police were looking at a personal enmity angle, and thereafter, we were told that they weren't able to establish the sequence of events. So for clarity's sake, take us through it again.
Definitely, yes, Nupur. If you see, this is a very unexpected and a shocking incident that has taken place in a moving train, and the passengers were shocked. Just now, we spoke to the family members of the victims who are currently getting treated in the hospital with more than 35% of burns. And the family members say that when they were able to talk a little bit to the victims, they said that they were not even able to look at the face of the person, because it all happened very fast, and he had 2 bottles of petrol and he threw the bottle of petrol on everybody and he set fire to them, is what the victims have stated. And that is exactly what the victims have gone on record and stated to the police as well. So none of them were able to, exactly remember the face of this person who committed this crime, and that is why the police are struggling with getting a clear picture of who did this. Though there has been CCTV footages of this person moving here and there, they do not have a clear picture. With the whatever the eyewitnesses gave on account, they have come up with this drawing with which they are trying to find out this person. And now if you see the Kerala police, the railway police who initially started the investigation, have now handed it over to the anti-terror squad and the Kerala police higher officials. The special investigation team under the Kerala's crime branch IG Vikram is also investigating this matter.
All right, stay with us, Varshini. Let's also get in Shravan right now. Shravan, obviously in this case, there is a lot that remains amiss. Earlier on, the railway police looked at it as a personal enmity case, perhaps. Now, of course, we are given to understand that the terrorism angle is also not being ruled out. So, give us a sense of why the NIA is looking at this perhaps as a terrorism case now. Shravan, can you hear me? All right, I don't think Shravan can hear us yet, but here's what we know so far in this case. Earlier on, as Varshini was pointing out, of course, the railway police were investigating this matter, and it did appear at that point in time that it may have been a personal enmity that drove the assault, what actually had happened was that in a moving train, a person had doused people using some petrol and then set them afire. However, with the fact that there appears to be no personal enmity between the accused and the people who were attacked, the police are now looking at various other angles, and the NIA is also perhaps looking at a terror angle in this case. And Shavan, I think, is now back with us. So Shavan, earlier I was saying that earlier on, of course, the railway police were investigating this as perhaps a case where there was enmity involved. But now a wider angle of terrorism seems to have crept in now. Tell us more in terms of why the NIA suspect this could be a terrorism case.
Well, Dupa, just a bit of a correction. At this point in time, the National Investigation Agency is just carrying out a parallel investigation. This case hasn't been handed over to the National Investigation Agency. Just like other cases, especially if there is any suspicion, and more importantly, if they suspect that there could be a terror angle, the NIA carries out a basic check. At this stage, that's exactly what is happening with regards to the National Investigation Agency. But it turns out that apart from the railway police, it is also Kerala ATS that is carrying out this entire probe. What we can now confirm for our viewers, in fact, we've also got that reaction coming in from the Kerala police, which perhaps we could play out in a short while from now. ADG Law and Order, who spoke to the media earlier in the day, has also now confirmed that searches are being carried out in the national capital in the NCR region. In fact, the photograph of the suspect has also now been released by the police, which has been accessed by Republic TV and which is on our screens at this point in time. Having said that, few people have also been questioned, is what we are picking up from our sources here in the national capital, but no confirmation really coming in from the Kerala ATS whether at all they have been able to identify the whereabouts of the suspect, and that is the reason why these searches are still being carried out. What we can also tell our viewers with regards to the movement of the suspect, police certainly suspects that after carrying out the activity, it turns out that he had left from Kerala. Movement is still being traced. In fact, there are certain CCTV footage which has now been examined by the police. So at this stage, perhaps it would be too premature to rule out any terror angle, and that is the reason why police basically indicating that all possible angles are being probed right now. We do not know in certainty that whether at all there is any specific terror angle to it, whether this suspect belongs to any organization, whether at all he was radicalized. All of these aspects are still being probed. But having said that, something that is emerging at this point in time is that they are not ruling out the terror angle at this stage.
All right, Vashni as well as Shavan, for the moment, thank you very much for joining us, both of you. So as our reporters are pointing out, this is an investigation that appears to be wide open at the moment. In fact, a preliminary probe is also being carried out with the NIA team, which has now reached Kannur. Apart from that, the Kerala ATS as well as the railway police are investigating this particular case. The police currently have released a sketch of the suspect. That's the one right in the middle. And on the left-hand side are some CCTV images that have been accessed by Republic TV of the main accused in this case. A look now at the top international news this morning. Former US President Donald Trump arrived at the Trump Tower in New York ahead of his historic booking and arraignment in the hush money charges case amidst heightened security. The case against Trump stems from payments made during his 2016 campaign. The Pentagon has responded to reports on whether or not China's spy balloon that was able to gather intelligence data on US military sites and transmit that data to the Chinese government before the Biden administration shot down the balloon days later off the coast of South Carolina, saying that the US is on high alert.
Of the steps that we were able to take, we were able to prevent transmission of certain aspects of our sites to be transmitted just because of the precautionary steps that we were able to take. But in terms of transmission back to the PRC and what was able to be transmitted back, I just don't have further information for you at this time. As of right now, we're still doing an assessment of what exactly the intel was that China was able to gather, but we do know that the steps that we took provided little additive value for what they've been able to collect on from satellites before.
The security minister of the province of Buenos Aires was attacked by a dozen of bus drivers who were protesting the murder of a colleague during a robbery. Sergio Berni was seen being punched at least by one driver and stones being pelted at him. In the aftermath of the Bakhmut shelling, evacuation from Bakhmut has now become almost impossible. The Ukrainian military has been trying to rescue residents in armored vehicles as attacks from Russia continue. Israel launched airstrikes on the southern suburbs of the Syrian capital Damascus early Tuesday, causing some material damage. Israel's conflict with Iran in Syria has intensified over the past few days, with 4 strikes on Damascus and the central province of Homs, killing 2 Iranian military advisors. Israel's military fighter jets intercepted an unidentified aircraft over the Gaza Strip that did not enter Israel's airspace. The Palestinian militant group Hamas, which rules the Gaza Strip, said that the intercepted aircraft was one of its unmanned attack drones conducting an exercise. 4 people were killed in front of the most renowned hotels in the resort city of Cancun on Mexico's Caribbean coast. The deaths occurred at the beginning of the Holy Week, one of the busiest tourist seasons for the resort. Authorities say that 2 have been arrested. Thousands took to the streets calling for gun reform in a rally outside the Tennessee state capitol in Nashville. Many of them were students from Nashville area schools who walked out of their classes where deadly shootings were reported. On the western side of the storm lines in the United States that developed have been extremely dry conditions in Oklahoma that seem to have combined with high winds and fueled several large wildfires that have now forced interstate closures and sent residents fleeing from their homes. A heavy downpour flooded parts of northwestern Peru, leaving some residents afraid that their homes might collapse, causing further damage. Many families had to abandon their homes because of the floods. Now, Congress MLA has Gherawed on his first day of election campaign in Chamarajanagar district. The Congress MLA was on his way to begin his election campaign but faced an embarrassment as he was Gherawed in Shivapura in Chamarajanagar district. The people seem to be upset with the MLA for not responding to their calls during festival days when there was an electricity cut by BESCOM. Now, the people also accused the MLA of not building any community hall in the constituency. So, pictures on your screen right now are of voters' anger targeted at a Congress MLA. Let's go across to Prajwal, who's reporting on this. Prajwal, give us more details of what transpired.
Nupur, now we are getting to learn that the Chamarajanagar MLA and the Congress's candidate in the upcoming elections from Mysuru, Puttaranga Shetty, has been on the campaigning, and it was in fact his first day of campaigning yesterday, where he was going to Shivpura, a part of his constituency which belongs to Chamarajanagar. And at that point of time, the people started gerawing Puttaranga Shetty, stating that he has not responded to their problems. And this has mainly occurred recently during the festivals, where this region had witnessed a lot of power cuts, but but he has failed to respond to any of their calls. And they have also in this particular conversation stated that this particular MLA comes only once every 5 years, and otherwise apart from votes he does not come for anything. There has also been a much larger anger from the community itself, stating that there has been no sort of community hall which has been built by the MLA, because even in 2018 he had promised that he would go on and build a community center for the people of Shivpura as well, but this was not done, and therefore these basic amenities are also lacking in the constituency. But this MLA has not responded, and therefore they have lashed out at him. Also, they have held him responsible for a host of several other civic issues too in the region, the bad state of roads as well, and also the electricity, because remember, in rural Karnataka as well, especially in the old Mysuru region, electricity is one of the biggest problems that farmers as well as the common man face in this particular region. And despite repeated assurances by the MLA, there was no sort of work done and no sort of new poles and new cables laid by, which has which has become a turning point, a talking point over here, a flashpoint, and this has resulted in a huge ruckus where they have garrowed him, and they have stated that they have boycotted him from this particular region in Shivpura and have asked him not to come here until he gets all their works done in the constituency.
All right, Prajwal, of course, is bringing us the latest on this situation that's panning out even as we speak. Thank you, Prajwal, for joining us. Now, on the western side of the storm lines in the United States that developed have been extremely dry conditions in Oklahoma that have combined with high winds and fueled several large wildfires that have now forced interstate closures and sent residents fleeing from their homes.
While residents across parts of the South and Midwest pummeled by deadly storms, forecasters have warned of more severe weather and fire danger in the days ahead. The fierce storms that spawned tornadoes in 11 states killed at least 32. On the western side of the storm lines, developed extremely dry conditions in Oklahoma that combined with high winds to fuel several large wildfires, forcing interstate closures and sent residents fleeing from their homes.
Oh my God, it's never ending. Oh my God, I just spent 30 minutes fighting it on the other side. Fighting the west side, now we're going to the east side. It won't stop.
Over 40 homes were destroyed across Oklahoma. And firefighters are leaving no stone unturned to bring the blaze under control. Agency report, Republic TV.
Coming up next, the opposition is divided over the fake degree attack. The NCP now comes out in the PM's support. And China provokes on Arunachal Pradesh. The Congress politicizes it, attacks the PM.
रामनवमी जुलूस में उपद्रव के बाद नालंदा जिले में अभी भी स्थिति तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। हमारे साथ ये देखिए, ये महिला बटालियन है जो कि मार्च कर रही है। बिल्कुल कर्फ्यू सा नजारा है। देख सकते हैं कि आसपास के जो दुकान हैं सभी बंद हैं। स्थिति जो है तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। एक युवक के मौत के बाद 2 लोग जख्मी हुए हैं। 62 लोग की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। धारा 144 पूरे नालंदा जिले में लगा हुआ है।
The BJP Shiv Sena Savarkar Gaurav Yatra has already been commenced, and we can see the Chief Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde, who has been present in the same yatra, and this is against the statement of Rahul Gandhi. We remember in the last press conference where Rahul Gandhi has stated that he is Gandhi and not Savarkar, and Gandhi never apologized. Right after which we saw there was a press conference that was called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, clearly condemning the statement of Rahul Gandhi, and there they have announced that there will be a Savarkar Gaurav Yatra across Maharashtra. So it has been started from today. It will go on till 8th of April.
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
And that is Christian Michelle. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's me, Chidambaram, right now. He's been arrested. It was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us.
बाजे को लेकर यहाँ पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे। इसी
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. Are they trying to stop the today? The whole nation is looking at you. What exactly are your thoughts? Why must
Border Congress politics continues, viewers. Uses Chinese provocation to target the Prime Minister Modi. India sets record straight, rejects China's renaming move, says Arunachal integral part of India. BJP takes on Vadra Congress in a scathing attack, says Congress cannot be the one to preach.
Destroyed. This is going to be the final solution to this destructive trend which is benumbing society. We are with the people of Bengal. In this, there is no discrimination, there is no difference of opinion. We are all united to curb this trend and assure the people that they can enjoy freedom, peace, and intimidation and violence in politics will be eradicated once and for all. Thank you.
All right, that's a Bengal governor there, a Bengal governor C.V. Anand Bose, who has just landed in Kolkata, and he is speaking on the recent violence which the state has seen in West Bengal, and he has said that we will take strict action, and also saying that we are united as the people of Bengal. Viewers, getting these details coming in right now. That's a governor's message amid violence in the state. And recently as well, today itself, BJP workers clashed with the police in Hooghly as well. So we are seeing some incidents coming in of violence and stone pelting and arson, which have been reported from the state of West Bengal in the past 2-3 days, viewers. And a message of solidarity, a message of peace coming in from the West Bengal governor, who just held a news briefing. And in that news briefing, he said that that the people of Bengal stand united, and a lot of people have suffered because of the violence the West Bengal state has seen. Let's go across to Kishore, who's joining us on the phone line. Kishore, the Bengal governor holding a news briefing and coming out with a very strong message, a message of peace as well.
Exactly. Well, we heard the governor speaking about how the violence and situation in West Bengal is a worrisome condition, and he is taking care that all the culprits and all the people who are responsible for this vandalism will be taken care of and punished. That's what the governor is pointing out. He just came back in a hurried manner from North Bengal. He was in North Bengal for the G20 summit, but he came back from there hurriedly because the situation is in South Bengal, especially in Howrah, Hooghly region, as we know, is deteriorating. He came back hurriedly and he held this press conference in which he pointed out that the situation in South Bengal is deteriorating, and he said that we will not allow any kind of section which is trying to disharmonize the society, which is trying to disturb the common people of the society. He said that the government and he will take care that they are punished and taken into account. Shivangi.
Right. And a very strong message coming in from the governor, like you were saying, that he mentioned two things: a message of peace and also a message that strict action will be taken against those who are creating this kind of violence in the state. Also take us through exactly what has the police and the administration planned to kind of calm down the tensions that the state has been seeing for the past few days, Kishore.
Well, Shivangi, the latest situation, as we were talking to Shukanta Majumdar on Republic TV a while back, exclusively, he told us that BJP is going to sit in for a dharna and protest in Srirampur in Hooghly district, the same district where violence happened in Rishra. However, as soon as Shukanta Majumdar declared that he is going there for a sit-in dharna protest, the administration increased the area of Section 144 that they had imposed, and which now includes Srirampur as well, the area where Shukanta Majumdar is supposed to go. Therefore, yesterday night we saw stone pelting and fresh violence against common people. And we saw that how that was stopped by the police, and then huge police deployment was there. Right now, Shukanta Majumdar is en route to Srirampur, and there is Section 144 as well. There is a chance that there might be a argument or clash with the police and BJP workers. However, Shukanta Majumdar clearly said that he will go there, he will protest against the violence against Ram Navami procession. Right now, the governor stated that all those who are culprits will be taken care of and will be punished. He also urged the common people to establish peace and tranquility in Bengal. Samiksha. Shivangi.
Right. Kishore getting us the details right now. And Kishore, thank you so much for getting those details. Right now, we're just seeing that there have been incidents of tensions in West Bengal for the past few days. Also, an uneasy calm prevailing in Bengal's Hooghly area after fresh clashes. Now let's go ahead and once again hear what the West Bengal governor had to say, putting out a strong message of peace and solidarity.
Here, in the past few days, this is a pernicious trend. We will never allow the forces of darkness, the birds of night, the predators on the freedom of the ordinary man to take society to ransom. We will take strict action against the wrongdoers. People of Bengal have suffered enough. No more of the suffering. People have a right for peaceful living. That right will certainly be established at any cost. Yes, the forces of evil will certainly be contained, destroyed. This is going to be the final solution to this destructive trend which is benumbing society. We are with the people of Bengal. In this, there is no discrimination, there is no difference of opinion. We are all united to curb this trend and assure the people that they can enjoy freedom, peace, and intimidation and violence in politics will be eradicated once and for all. Thank you.
All right, viewers, I've just heard the governor's message in West Bengal, and in fact, we're getting more details coming in. The BJP also trying to hold a dharna there, and the BJP has been asking for better law and order situation in West Bengal. Let's go ahead once more and play out what the Bengal governor had to say, saying that we are all united.
Here, in the past few days, this is a pernicious trend. We will never allow the forces of darkness, the birds of night, the predators on the freedom of the ordinary man to take society to ransom. We will take strict action against the wrongdoers. People of Bengal have suffered enough. No more of the suffering. People have a right for peaceful living. That right will certainly be established at any cost. Yes, the forces of evil will certainly be contained, destroyed. This is going to be the final solution to this destructive trend which is benumbing society. We are with the people of Bengal. In this, there is no discrimination, there is no difference of opinion. We are all united to curb this trend and assure the people that they can enjoy freedom, peace, and intimidation and violence in politics will be eradicated once and for all. Thank you.
So viewers, the West Bengal governor speaking there, saying that we are all united, and also sending a very strong message of peace, saying that the people of Bengal are suffering, but there's something that can be overcome together. Now, We are also seeing an uneasy calm prevailing in Rishra and West Bengal's Hooghly district after fresh clashes were reported in the town. My colleague has filed this report from Rishra.
Fresh violence occurred again in Rishra on Monday night, and after that, allegedly, a huge number of glass bottles and stones were pelted towards police, and allegedly one police van was torched down by the mob, by the agitators, and all we can see now that the stones and broken glass bottles and the scenes in which we can clearly say that a huge violence was occurred here in Rishra near gate number 4, a rail crossing. Due to that, a huge number of passengers were waiting in different stations. The train services were disrupted, and now the police personnel are doing area domination in different parts of Rishra. And when will normalcy will be back in Rishra? This is now the biggest question. With video journalist Sanjay Nair, this is Bhaskar for Republic.
All right, viewers, getting in a first MEA response also coming in right now on China's provocation. The statement read in a quote here, and this is what the MEA has said after China has once again tried to rename areas in Arunachal Pradesh. MEA has said, this is India's stance. We have seen such reports. This is not the first time China has made such an attempt. We reject this outright. Arunachal Pradesh is, has, and will always be an integral and inalienable part of India. Attempts to assign invented names will not alter this reality. So viewers, this is coming in after China has provoked once again on Arunachal Pradesh, and at the same time, what we also saw was the Congress trying to wade into the issue. We saw a tweet as well coming in from Mallikarjun Kharge, who said, and I quote here, "For the third time, China has dared to rename our areas in Arunachal Pradesh." That's what the tweet said. And also adding that after Galwan, the country is facing the consequences of Modi ji giving a clean chit to China. So what are Congress wading in, politicizing the entire issue, and even going to the extent of targeting the Prime Minister? So viewers, we're getting these details coming in where India has responded to China's provocation. Some more reactions.
Renaming all the border villages, whether it is Arunachal Pradesh, central region, or even in the Ladakh, and they will stop our nomads from going and using the grazing grounds, which are basically in Indian territory. The recent efforts, what China has done is renaming many villages in Arunachal and showing them as Chinese territory. This is all their things towards salami slicing, and later on they'll lay claim to this and say that these villages were basically in their own territory, and that is why they've named them and start development works over there. The only way to counter China is to ensure and reduce India's trade deficit with it. We have been importing all sorts of things from China which are totally unnecessarily at the cost of our own manufacturing units. It is high time now that the government steps in and ensures that only essential items are imported from China, so that we do not provide China the money to carry on with its military activities or its other activities which are proactive.
Right, let's go straight to Lokesh Jindal of the Congress joining us on the phone line. Lokesh, I'm just coming to you. Firstly, thank you for joining us here. The big question that is being raised right now is that even though China has provoked for the third time, Congress has in fact gone ahead. They have tweeted this out, and where they are directly blaming the Prime Minister of a country for something which has been happening for decades now. China has been provoking India for decades now, and Congress politicizing this issue. What is your take on this as someone from the Congress, a Congress leader?
See, first of all, this India is way more capable dealing with China than before. Our approach needs to be corrected. Why has the government reduced the defense expenditure? My first question. Defense expenditure has to be increased. We need to make our armed forces modernized, not by mere rhetorics, but with modern arms and ammunitions.
developing state-of-the-art military infrastructure across the borders and ensuring that we are able to deal with these challenges. Time and again, we are being challenged. We have to be more prepared rather than simply coming up with rhetoric. Yes, I agree with the speaker before when he...
All right, Lokesh, I'm getting some problem. We're getting some issues with you, with your phone line right now. Thank you so much for joining us, Lokesh Jindal of the Congress, for joining us here. And viewers, that's a top story right now, where India has rejected the China renaming villages ploy, which China has been using for multiple times now. Third attempt being made by China to rename areas in Arunachal Pradesh. So the MEA response has come in on China's provocation. The statement read, and I quote here, "We have seen such reports. This is not the first time China has made such an attempt. We reject this outright. Arunachal Pradesh has been and will always be an integral and inalienable part of India. Attempts to assign invented names will not alter this reality." So this is the statement coming in from the MEA. Once more, China has tried to provoke again on Arunachal Pradesh. Let's move ahead to the other breaking updates coming in. All right, viewers, getting this details coming in where we know, and this is the update in the Kerala train case. The attacker has been arrested from Bulandshahr. The attacker in the Kerala train case has been arrested, viewers. That's the big breaking coming in. Big breaking coming in. Now, the name of the attacker has been identified as Shahrukh Saifi. That's the name coming in right now, viewers. And he has been nabbed from Bulandshahr, viewers. That is a top breaking. Now, remember that the NIA team earlier had reached Kannur. Searches are being carried out as well. Those visuals coming in as well of the security personnel on the spot, the police on the spot.
So that's why we are reviewing where the security gaps are there, so that we can, installation of CCTVs, even at the station, some more stations. Already we have installed at 12, but now what we noticed is that even we need to install even at small stations, Calicut, Palagat, and some stations we, at the moment, CCTVs are there. We thought that will help us to at least immediately identify and people who are getting in and getting out. Second is even in the coaches also installation of CCTVs, that also is in the pipeline. So now we will expedite that also quickly to do it because of this incident. So apart from that, as you know, because every train starting is not possible with limited strength. So we will be more emphasized on the technology solutions, especially like CCTVs. And maybe we may install at some places even like a scanner also, so that any such inflammable liquids if somebody is carrying to find them. But practically, you all know that there are more than 100 stations. So at every station, keeping a security person may not be possible. But we will definitely take from this experience, and whatever to be done immediately, we will start processing for those things. So that such incidents doesn't repeat. But at the moment, the first this thing is, as you all know already, a task force has been formed from the state government side, and DRP is investigating that. So whatever assistance they needed from our side, so both as manpower, resources, as well as technology, we are rendering all the assistance to them to nab the accused at the area. So that is.
All right, so viewers, let's go straight to Varshini, who's joining us live right now. Varshini, take us through exactly what we know so far. Now, the big update coming in right now is that the identity of the accused is Shahrukh Saifi, and he has been arrested from Bulandshahr. That's what we are learning so far. Take us through the details that we have learned, Varshini.
Well, Shivangi, if you see, this particular person called Shahrukh Saifi has been on the suspect list for the railway police initially, and the railway police have made a sketch out of the witness's account, and that is how they were trying to locate this person called Shahrukh Saifi. The railway police initially, when they began the investigation, they found a mobile phone that they retrieved from the crime scene, and that is how they used to track this person down, is what we are learning from our sources from this information. condition. And this person, Shahrukh Saifi, is based out of Noida, and he had travelled to Kozhikode recently, is what we are also picking up from our sources. But when exactly did he come down here? How long did his stay was? And who all did he meet during his stay in Kozhikode are the investigation details that currently we are waiting for. And as of now, as soon as this incident happened, this incident took place, Shahrukh Saifi immediately fled the scene, and we hear that he had run away to Bulandshahr, and that is where exactly the police have arrested him from. The Kerala Police's anti-terror squad has been that was constituted yesterday, had been searching for this person, and last night we learned from our sources that the anti-terror squad even moved to Noida to find out if this Shahrukh Saifi was there, and that is how they've ended up arresting him, is what we are picking up from our sources now, Shivangi. Therefore, this Shahrukh Saifi, as per the witness's account and as per the tracking of the mobile phone that the police retrieved from the railway tracks, from the crime scene, is how they have identified this person called Shahrukh Saifi, and more details on his history with the other terror organizations, or if he is related to any other radicalized group, is what is being under the question here. More details are being awaited from the Kerala police themselves to give detailed information on this matter, Shivangi.
Right. Well, thank you, Varshini, for getting us all the details. Suspect arrested from Bulandshahr. NIA team also at the spot and investigating the case. All right, let's move ahead, viewers, to some other news which is coming in right now. We're getting some more news coming in. And this time around, we are seeing that this is, in fact, some breaking updates coming in right now. All right, viewers, more updates coming in from West Bengal. We just saw a short while back that the Bengal Governor has given a message of peace and solidarity, and now we are learning the Bengal Governor is going to visit Rishra. That's the big update coming in from West Bengal, the top detail coming in. Remember that according to the sources, we have learned that West Bengal Governor will be visiting Hooghly. A short while back, we saw that there were fresh clashes reported in Rishra in West Bengal's Hooghly district, viewers. Already many shops are closed and few people were seen on the streets as prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the CRPC have remained in that area. Route marches were conducted in areas in Rishra and adjoining areas as well. So after that news is coming in, we are seeing that
সম্প্রদায়কে ভয় দেখানোর জন্য এবং মুসলিম ভোটকে রিগেন করার জন্য শিক্ষিত বুদ্ধিজীবী মুসলিমদেরকেও আমি আহ্বান জানাবো, আপনারা এগিয়ে আসুন, এগিয়ে এসে শান্তি প্রতিষ্ঠার জন্য একসাথে কাজ করুন এবং শান্তি প্রতিষ্ঠা করুন। মমতা বন্দ্যোপাধ্যায়ের পাতা ফাঁদে পা দেবেন না। তৃণমূলের সাংসদরা পঞ্চায়েত
All right, viewers, so that's the update coming in. According to sources, Bengal Governor will be visiting affected areas. He will be going to Rishra, viewers. And a short while back, we saw more developments coming in where we saw that the BJP workers clash with the state police in Hooghly as well over its party chief Sukanto Majumdar's protest against the ongoing stone pelting and other incidents coming in. All right, let's go back to Ishan Deb, who's joining us. Ishan Deb, now we're seeing a new update coming in where the Bengal Governor has said that he will be soon going to Rishra. When will that happen?
Here with you from Bangla Newsroom, and what we are getting, the latest updates are after Governor spoke to the media in the Kolkata airport. Now his convoy is en route to Rishra. He has taken the way which leads directly to Rishra. So we are not 100% sure whether he's going to Rishra or not, but our sources of Governor House tells us that that's what he has planned. Now he's going to visit Rishra, and there he'll be visiting the spots of clash sites where the clashes happened yesterday night and before that as well. Along with the governor's
right. Ishan Deb, I am just coming back to you in a moment because I know this is the big news that has come from West Bengal. But let's go ahead and once again hear what the West Bengal had to say a short moment back.
Here, in the past few days. This is a pernicious trend. We will never allow the forces of darkness, the birds of night, the predators on the freedom of the ordinary man to take society to ransom. We will take strict action against the wrongdoers. People of Bengal have suffered enough. No more of the suffering. People have a right for peaceful living. That right will certainly be established at any cost. Yes, the forces of evil will certainly be contained, destroyed. This is going to be the final solution to this destructive trend which is benumbing society. We are with the people of Bengal. In this, there is no discrimination, there is no difference of opinion. We are all united to curb this trend and assure the people that they can enjoy freedom, peace, and intimidation and violence in politics will be eradicated once and for all.
All right, viewers, so we heard the West Bengal Governor, and the big update coming in is also that the West Bengal Governor will very soon be visiting Rishra. A short while back, my colleague has filed this report from Rishra, which saw fresh clashes earlier.
Fresh violence occurred again in Rishra on Monday night, and after that, allegedly, a huge number of glass bottles and stones were pelted towards police, and allegedly one police van was torched down by the mob, by the agitators, and all we can see now that the stones and broken glass bottles and the scenes in which we can clearly say that a huge violence was occurred here in Rishra near gate number 4, a rail crossing. Due to that, a huge number of passengers were waiting in different stations. The train services were disrupted, and now the police personnel are doing area domination in different parts of Rishra. And when will normalcy will be back in Rishra? This is now the biggest question. With video journalist Sanjay Nair, this is Bhaskar for Republic.
All right, viewers, so right now we just saw that report coming in from my colleague from Rishra, and very soon we believe that the West Bengal Governor will be visiting Rishra very, very soon. He's on his way to Hooghly, that is very, very close to Rishra. Let's go ahead and play out this reaction coming in from the West Bengal government, because we are seeing an uneasy calm in some areas of West Bengal after fresh clashes were reported.
On the occasion of Ram Navami in Howrah district, there was a procession which was organized by BJP and VHP. We saw BJP workers in the procession brandishing pistols and swords and playing loud DJ. Now these videos were flagged in a press conference addressed by All India Trinamool Congress General Secretary Sri Abhishek Bandyopadhyay. What BJP had to say was that these videos were fake. What do we see today? We see that Shumit Sao, the individual who was carrying the pistol, which was shown in the video by TMC, was arrested from Munger, Bihar. He happens to be a resident of Salkia, Howrah. So Sumit has now confessed to this crime. He has confessed to the fact that yes, he was carrying this pistol in the BJP procession and that he is a BJP worker. So now what does BJP have to say about this? They are the ones who manufacture fake news and fake videos. We wait for their answer as to what they have to say about their BJP worker.
All right, viewers, getting some more breaking news coming in. It seems as the Bengal Governor has now reached Hooghly, viewers. Remember that he's due to go to Rishra. Rishra is in West Bengal's Hooghly district after fresh clashes were reported in the town. So right now, the news that we have got for you, the big update coming in, the West Bengal Governor has now, I repeat, now reached Hooghly. Earlier, he had held a news briefing where he said that he gave a very big message of peace and calm, and said that strict action will be taken against those who are guilty of fanning the tensions in the state. Remember that multiple areas in West Bengal are seeing unrest. Let's go to Kishal is joining us live from the Republic Bangla newsroom. Kishalai, just take our viewers through what is the latest development coming in. The Bengal Governor has now reached Hooghly district.
Well, exactly. We are breaking this first. West Bengal Governor has already reached Hooghly. He has entered Hooghly district and already he is en route to Rishra, the violent hit areas. And also on the other hand, Sukanto Majumdar, state BJP president, is also en route to Srirampur, which is also in Hooghly. As soon as the state government came to know about Sukanto Majumdar's protest, sit-in protest in Srirampur in Hooghly district, they imposed 144, section 144.
We broke that a while back. That section 144 was there.
Only in Rishra area. Now it's also extended to Srirampur area as well. A while back, governor spoke to the media and he gave clear indication that he's looking into the situation of deteriorating law and order in West Bengal. He said that any force that is trying to destroy the
will be taken into account and will be punished. Now his convoy is en route to Rishra. He has already entered the Hooghly district. And in Hooghly district, he is now en route towards the violent hit areas, the core areas where violence was there. Right now, section 144 has been imposed. However, the governor's convoy is en route to that area. And also, Sukanto Majumdar, state BJP president, is also going to visit that area. His convoy is also en route. Therefore, we are expecting that they'll be reaching in a while, and also we are expecting that there will be huge police deployment to stop Sukanto Majumdar from entering, because previously we saw the police said that any kind of political intervention or any kind of political people crowd won't be allowed to sit in there for any kind of protest. So at one hand, you can see that Sukanto Majumdar is en route to Srirampur in spite of police asking him not to, and on the other hand, the governor is going to visit the violence areas as well. That's a breaking. We have already reached Hooghly. In any moment, we'll be reaching the clear areas of violence that yesterday night as well, we saw violence happening and trains being stopped and bombed and stones being hurled. Shivangi.
Right. And like you're telling us, as the West Bengal governor is on his way to Rishra, we also are getting the news that the BJP is going to stage a dharna or a sit-in protest, but the police have denied permission in the dharna and they have said that that will not happen. So, but we know that you just told us that Sukanto is on his way to Srirampur.
Yes, exactly. Sukanto Majumdar told us exclusively that in spite of all kinds of restrictions, he will be visiting that area. In spite of section 144, he is going to stage that dharna because he wants to raise his voice against the violence on Ram Navami procession in Hooghly, in Rishra. On the other hand, we could see that the police was bringing down the stages that were being built for the BJP protest. The police destroyed and dismantled the stage. However, Sukanto Majumdar said that we will be sitting anywhere we can sit. I'll be reaching that area. Police might stop me. We saw yesterday how Sukanto Majumdar was stopped in Hooghly yesterday as well, and the day before he was stopped in Howrah. Sukanto Majumdar and Shubhendu Adhikari, both of them were stopped in different areas. Now Sukanto Majumdar is en route to Hooghly in Srirampur, and on the other hand, the governor, we are getting the latest update that the governor is even closer to that area. Governor is closer to that area, and he is going to visit any moment. He's going to visit the violence. He's in Kolkali now. So I'm sorry, he's in Bhadrakali now, which is very close to the violence areas. And he will be visiting the areas and meeting the people who are affected. That's what we are getting to know. That's the latest.
Right. So we're getting these top details coming in. The Bengal governor has reached Hooghly right now, and the governor visiting affected areas. So right now, if you could take our viewers through exactly what has the police planned, what has the